World Scouts Parliamentary Union is an international organization which unites Scouts-oriented parliamentarians from all over the world and brings them into closer contact with the World Scouts movement. Its objective is to strengthen both National Scouts organization and World Scouting through the influence of parliamentarians who believe in Scouting as an effective non-formal education method and movement. Now, Honorable Senators, the University of Nairobi Rover Scouts participated in the recently concluded 11th WSPU Youth Assembly held at Kangweja Teachers College, Nyeri County from the 6th to the 9th of November 2025. They exhibited several community-led initiatives, among them a legal project dubbed Scouts and Law, which offers legal aid to the juveniles facing criminal charges in our judicial system, among other initiatives. Now, Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I have a very sad communication that I need to pass to Honorable Senators. It is with deep sorrow and grief that I regret to announce the sudden, untimely and shocking demise of Dr. Philip Brighton Bushere, Director, Senate Liaison Office, who died on the morning of 24th of November 2025 while undergoing treatment at University Hospital, Wolfsburg, Germany. Honorable Senators, the late Dr. Philip Brighton Bushere was born on the 28th of June 1973 in Pumwani, Nairobi. He obtained his O-level qualification from Chebisas High School, Eldoret, and later earned a Bachelor of Arts Education, Kiswahili and History, and a Master's degree in Curriculum Development, both from the Moi University. He furthered his studies at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, where he earned a PhD in Conflict Resolution and Management. Honorable Senators, Dr. Bushere joined the parliamentary service on the 1st of November 2013 as a Director, Curriculum Development, Training and Research at the Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training, a position he held until 5th of April 2021 when he was deployed to the Senate as the head of the Senate Liaison Office. The late Dr. Bushere also served the parliamentary service in various capacities, most notably as chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Parliamentary Service Commission Staff Pension Scheme from the 30th of September 2019 until his demise. In this role, he championed prudent investment of members' funds, leading to an unprecedented return of interest in the last financial year 2024-2025. He also oversaw the establishment and implementation of the post-retirement medical scheme for staff, which came into effect on the 1st of July 2022. The late Dr. Bushere was also the incumbent chairman of the Parliamentary Service Commission's Staff Disciplinary Committee, where he served with distinction, ensuring that the disciplinary process remained transparent, structured, and in strict adherence to the relevant rules, regulations, and procedures. Throughout his career, the late Bushere was a diligent, industrious, and committed officer, exhibiting exceptional dedication and a remarkable work ethic. His consistent work, resourcefulness, and unwavering commitment to excellence earned him the respect and admiration of his colleagues. His positive attitude and pleasant nature made him an invaluable member of every team he worked with. Dr. Bushere leaves behind a lasting legacy. His influence and example will continue to inspire all who had privilege of working with him, and his memory will live on in the hearts and minds of those who served so faithfully. Honorable Senators, a condolence book has been opened in the office of the clerk on the first floor of the main parliament buildings for members and staff who wish to convey their condolences to the family and friends. Now, Honorable Senators, on behalf of all Senators and the entire staff of the Parliament, and on my own behalf, I wish to take this opportunity to condole with the family of Dr. Bushere, parliamentary staff, and all friends in this most difficult moment. The Parliament of Kenya has lost a diligent and committed staffer. Honorable Senators, in honor of our departed staffer, I request that we all stand and observe a minute of silence. You may be seated, Honorable Senators. Honorable Senators, when the chair is upstanding, you don't just dash in the chamber. May the soul of the late Dr. Philip Brighton Bushere rest in eternal peace. Now, I will ask the Majority Leader to extend a word of welcome to the Scouts who are here with us, and maybe proceed to pay his tribute. And thereafter, I will allow 20 minutes for honorable senators to pay their tributes to the departed staffer. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I join you on behalf of my colleagues to welcome this delegation from the World Scouts Association. I didn't know that there's a title of President, which is befitting to my sister, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, who's President of World Scout Parliamentary Association, I think you said, and this delegation is visiting with her. Senator Tabitha continues to distinguish herself in many fields. I think she may soon be acquire other names, Mr. Speaker, beyond the President, because there are one too many already. I know many other things that she does. But I want to welcome this delegation that is visiting with us. May they enjoy their time with us and get to learn a thing or two. Mr. Speaker, I know that you also are a ranking member in the Scout Association in this country. And I congratulate you for keeping that honor. I tried to be a scout when I was in primary, but I was told that I bounced instead of walking. Therefore, I could not qualify, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I admire people like you continue to dedicate themselves. I think, Mr. Speaker, my mother conspired with the teacher because she could not afford the uniform, so that they knocked me out. But I congratulate them. On a more serious note, Mr. Speaker, I join you together with the rest of my colleagues to pass a word of condolence on the passing of Dr. Bushere, a fine gentleman. I served with him in the board of CPSD for 5 good years. And most afternoons we'd engage in very deep conversations about that institution and its value to Parliament and particularly to us as a Senate. And there are many times that we would disagree, but never disagreeably. And he would pass his solid points calmly, but with a lot of passion on training and improving capacity building to members of Parliament. That was his area of expertise. Little wonder that subsequently he came on to serve actually as in charge of training in the Senate, because I know he loved capacitating senators, Mr. Speaker, and ensuring that they are well prepared for service to the country and to the continent. Therefore, it's really unfortunate that we have lost him. I pass my condolence to his immediate family, to his friends, to the parliamentary staffers, Mr. Speaker. Our prayers and condolence to them. May he find rest in this time, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Senator Kamar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to condole with the family of Dr. Bushere. Mr. Speaker, may I take this first opportunity to pass my most sincere condolences to the family that has been left behind by such a wonderful man in the name of Dr. Bushere. Mr. Speaker, I happen to have known Bushere and worked with him for about 4 years. In the year 2013 to 2017, I was a consultant with CPST and the Council of Governors And I had opportunity when we were developing course materials to train our MCAs, to translate them from councillors to honorable members of the county assemblies. Dr. Bushere was such a diligent worker, a very pleasant person to work with, a very committed person of CPST. It is so sad that we have lost him at a time when we would continue to contribute a lot to this parliament. I can testify that this was not just an intelligent person, but somebody who was extremely respectful working with parliament, and this is somebody who made sure that things were done in CPST. I wish to pray to pass the family that my prayers are with them, our prayers are with them, that they may have some comfort from heaven, because it's very difficult to lose somebody at that age. May the Lord rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Allow just 1 second, Mr. Speaker, to also pass my few remarks to the Scouts in this chamber. As the President of the World Scout Parliamentary Union, I just want to say that Scout movement is a movement that speaks more about taught discipline matters. Mr. Speaker, it prepares the young people to be more responsible out here, and emphasizes on matters honesty, accountability, and transparency. The team you see here is from the University of Nairobi, undertaking the law, and they call themselves Law and Scouts, something that I encourage other young people to join the movement. In those few, Mr. Speaker, allow me also to pass my sincere, heartfelt condolences to Dr. Philip, myself, and my family. We've lost a staff, a competent staff for that matter, Mr. Speaker. I just was able to engage with him the few years I've been in this chamber, but in those few years, Mr. Speaker, he was someone who was also very hardworking, whose goal was going to ensure that he offers services, that achieve the goal that a member wants to achieve, Mr. Speaker. He was efficient, he was fast, Mr. Speaker, and I want to say to the family that poleni sana, may his soul rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Enoch Wamboa.
I thank the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two things. I just want to also join you and my colleagues in welcoming the visiting Scouts in the House, Mr. Speaker. I've heard Senator Cheriot make reference to the performance of Senator Mutinda and making reference to her as president of the Scouting movement, and saying that on that score, she seems to be going places. Mr. Speaker, I cannot agree more with Senator Cheriot, but I just wanted to report, Mr. Speaker, for the benefit of the House, that we have two presidents in this House. We have the president of the World Scouting Movement in Parliament, Senator Mutinda, and we have the president of the Women's League of the ODM, Senator Beth Shengo. Mr. Speaker, the common denominator with those two presidents is that they come from Kitui County. And Mr. Speaker, sooner rather than later, there will be a bigger president coming from Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, allow me to also take this opportunity to encourage the visiting Scouts. Unlike Senator Cheriot, who could not qualify to be a Scout. Mr. Speaker, I was doing very well as a Scout when I was growing up. And we used to narrate the loyalty pledge of the Scouts in Kenya. On my honor, I pledge my loyalty to the President and the nation of Kenya, my readiness and duty to defend the flag of our republic. Now, what I don't know whether it happens today, Mr. Speaker, is that towards the end of the loyalty pledge, we also used to talk about the national motto, Arambe, and perpetuated in the national philosophy of love, peace, and unity. I hope that motto still remains, and that this is a very good training ground for patriots, Mr. Speaker, in this country. There can never be a better opportunity for young people to be trained on patriotism and defending our republic, defending the flag of our republic. Mr. Speaker, lastly, on the matter of the passing on of Dr. Michelle, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity on my behalf and on behalf of the people of Kitui County, pass my condolences to the family and the fraternity, Mr. Speaker, for losing such a committed worker. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I submit.
Senator Wakili Sige.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to join you and the rest of the colleagues of this House in paying tribute to Dr. Bushere. He's not just an employee of the Parliamentary Service Commission. He has distinguished himself, Mr. Speaker, reading his credentials. We have lost a great man. We've lost somebody who has distinguished himself together with the membership of the entirety of the staff that serves the House to be great minds, learned people, and very professional in what they do. As we mourn him, I want to encourage the colleagues who've been left behind in the Secretariat to continue serving in their various positions with the professionalism, dedication that Dr. Bushere has left behind, and wish the family that they have sufficient grace to run through this very hard season. Mr. Speaker, on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Bomet, we wish that the soul of Dr. Bushere rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Mr. Speaker, I want to just congratulate the young people who are in this House today, because I was a Boy Scout once. I started as a cub. Mr. Speaker, I wish we could take the scouting model and begin to inculcate the ideas of being fair, of talking to each other fairly, and kind of being our brother's keeper, which is what basically the scouting movement stands for. Finally, Mr. Speaker, it is true that when one of us passes in this House, we feel the pain, because these are people who have become like family members. I would wish to also pass my condolences to the family, and I hope that this House will give our colleague a befitting farewell. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Consolata Nabwire.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to thank Senator Tabitha and the visiting troop of scouts who are here with us today. I want to encourage them, because through their patrols, they are able to carry out community service, CSR projects, and charity works, as well as honing their leadership skills. Secondly, I also want to join colleagues here in mourning Dr. Bushere. I encountered him during my induction course in Kiambu, and I noticed that he's such a brilliant and meticulous gentleman. On my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Bungoma County, I want to wish his kith and kin fortitude in this solitude moment. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Senator Mogene Okongo.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to join my colleagues in passing my message of condolences on the demise of Dr. Philip Bushere, who was a very dedicated officer within the Parliamentary Service Commission and in the CPST. So, Speaker, this has been a very difficult month for Parliament. We lost a senior accountant from the County of Kisii. We lost another lady staff, and now Dr. Bushere. I want to, on my behalf and behalf of the family, to pray that may the Almighty God comfort the family and also comfort the many members of staff who have lost a colleague, Mr. Speaker. We hope, Mr. Speaker, that the family will find comfort on the fact that Dr. Bushere has left a big mark in Parliament as one of the officers who played a very key role in making the CPST what it is today, and in extending a lot of training to members of Parliament and to our staff. May the Almighty God rest the soul of Dr. Philip Bushere in eternal peace. Thank you.
Senator Beth Siengo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Allow me to start by congratulating my young sister, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, for distinguishing herself as the president of the Scouts movement. And I also extend this welcome to the young men and women who are in our presence today as Scouts movement. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to pass my personal condolence to the family of Dr. Philip Bushere. He's a fine man who served with dedication and a lot of commitment to his work. And when we lose a member, we feel all of us are bereaved. So I pass my condolences to his family, friends, and the entire Parliamentary Service Commission and Secretariat. Mr. Speaker, on the same breath, allow me to inform the House that this afternoon we have also lost a senior member and a leader in this country, sister to His Excellency late Raila Amolo Odinga, Madam Beryl Achieng. So, on the same breath, I also pass my condolences to the Odinga's family and the entire nation at large. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we continue to pray for the families that are bereaved, and we move together, trusting God that we'll continue experiencing and having peace in this nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Andy Okech Kecheru.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to congratulate my sister, Senator Tabitha, together with the young people that I'm seeing from the Scouts movement. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the movements that I pride myself of when I was in school, because this is the movement that helps you build proper sense of outdoor activities, proper sense of community service, and proper sense of building proper skills that you can be able to use in the future. And I think that the substratum of that is collectively to build a proper value and a value system that helps sustain you once you become an adult and once you become a complete member of the society. And as young people, I want to tell you that we are seeing over and over a place where, a country and even in the world, when the older you become, the more you lose those fundamentals that you actually built when you're young. People lose interest in building external activities. People lose interest in building proper skills. People lose interest in having values. Even among leaders that you see in our country today, you see people losing a lot of values and seeking for quick gain and short-term ambitions over long-term gains. I want to encourage us young people that never lose the values that you're building now, despite the pressures that you will have in the future, to have quick gratification and quick success. Because the values you've built now will build you and your families in the future. That said, Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to say sorry and pass my deepest condolences to the family of Dr. Philip Bushere. Mr. Speaker, certainly we do share in this pain and loss as a Senate and certainly as people of Migori County, because our effectiveness and our soundness in serving our counties cannot be spoken about without looking back into the contribution that Dr. Philip Bushere was making to us. He has made his wonderful contribution. These are some of the unsung heroes that we have here. Our staff that we have here at the Secretariat are certainly the unsung heroes of why Parliament works. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say sorry also to the staff for this big loss, and may the grace of God, give solace to the family and to our staff and to us as a whole. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, just as my sister Beth Siengo has said, we also have had this crazy last 40 days, 41 days of even now having lost the sister to my leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, Madam Beryl Achieng. And I just want to take this opportunity also to say to the family, sorry. It has been a dark month, but I hope that the grace of God again will give them the strength to bear in these tides that we are facing, and say sorry to the Odinga family. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddie. Last but not the least, Senator Munyaji Mohamed Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika pia kunipa fursa kuomboleza kifo cha mwenda zake Bushere ambaye alikuwa anafanya kazi katika bunge la Senate. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hakika ni msiba kwa Senate pamoja na wafanyakazi wa Senate kutokana na kumpoteza mfanyakazi huyu ambaye ametajwa hapa kama mfanyaji kazi ambaye alikuwa moyo wake wote ameutoa kwa nchi ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, mchango wake katika bunge hili, mchango wake kwa wale ambao aliwafundisha, Mheshimiwa Spika, utabakia katika kumbukumbu zetu kwa muda mrefu utakaokuja. Vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, nachukua fursa hii kumpa pole kiongozi wetu Mheshimiwa Senator Uburu kwa kumpoteza dadake hivi leo mchana. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
We have 3 minutes on this order. Senator Joyce Chepkoech. Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also contribute on the Honorable Mutinda. And I want to say that I must congratulate her for the efforts that she has tried in terms of making sure that she engages with the Kenya Scouts. I must welcome them to this house, Honorable Speaker. This is a special group that is trying to shape the future of our youth. And I want to say that these are great leaders whom I know in the near future, they will also be in this house. And I'm praying for them that as they continue serving this nation, I pray that the Lord may protect them. Honorable Speaker, on the same breath, allow me to really pass my sincere condolence for the 3 staffs that we've lost in this institution. I know it has been a difficult time for our staffs, but I want to say that as the honorable members and the commission want to stand with their families, relatives, and even the entire institution in passing their condolences and condoling with their families. And we are asking God to really protect us during this time and give us strength to be able to overcome. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I don't want to labor much. I beg to leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the clerk. Next on.
Order number 3, messages.
Next one.
Order number 4, petitions.
Senator Edwin Sifuna, you have a petition to read.
Yes, indeed, Speaker, I do have a petition. Just before I do that, let me also join my colleagues who have passed their condolences to Dr. Bushere's family following his demise. And Honorable Speaker, this afternoon, we also got news that our colleague, the Senator for Siaya, and the entire Jaramogi Oginga family is once again in mourning following the passing of their sister Beryl. So, tunasema pole sana. Honorable Speaker, this is a petition to the Senate of the Republic of Kenya concerning the eviction of the Single Mothers Association of Kenya from property reference number CP and ARCH stroke 00219, excision of LR number 2096738. Honorable Speaker, that we, the undersigned, on behalf of the Single Mothers Association of Kenya, based in Starehe constituency, being peace-loving and law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya, and in exercise of our right under Article 119 of the Constitution, which grants every person the right to petition Parliament on any matter within its authority, do hereby humbly submit this petition to the Senate of the Republic of Kenya for consideration. That whereas the SMAK is a legally registered charitable community-based organization established in 1991 and registered in 1992 under the Ministry of Gender, Sports, Culture and Social Services, based in Ziwani Ward, Starehe constituency, Nairobi County. This petition is submitted to your office for consideration of the following grievances and requests. That since 1992, the association has occupied a disused parking lot in Ziwani Estate under allocation from the Nairobi City Council, consistently paying ground rent, and in 1997 making full payments for allotment, lease, PDP and beacon surveys. However, the Nairobi City County government has never issued the required documents, and instead we have faced repeated harassment, including instructions to advertise for regularization in 2007 to 2008, unauthorized subdivision of our plot in 2012, eviction letters and threats from 2015, and even demolition of our facilities without notice in 2019. Our attempts at legal redress have failed due to the Nairobi City County's continued withholding of critical documents. The purpose of this petition is to draw the attention of the Senate to the several grievances and concerns raised by the members of the Single Mothers Association of Kenya regarding the ongoing and planned activities related to this piece of land. The following issues are brought forth for the consideration by this House. Number one, the immediate cessation of eviction threats and summons to all concerned parties. Number two, enforcement of our constitutional right to information, compelling the Nairobi City County government to release the following documents. Number one, the lease agreements, PDP, beacon certificate and title deed. Number two, records explaining subdivision of the plot.
Sorry, Senator Sifuna, the document they have has no such players, so maybe clerk and you can approve the chair.
Yeah, I am holding the very petition that was approved by the Speaker. I'm almost done, Speaker.
Sifuna, just 1 minute, can you give me 1 minute, have your seat. Senator Sifuna, just approve the chair, and okay, just proceed.
Speaker, I will try and truncate it so that we go straight to the prayers. But there's a confirmation here that this issue is not pending anywhere in any court of law or constitutional or legal body in Kenya. And whereas we, the undersigned, on behalf of the Single Mothers Association of Kenya, aver that the Senate of the Republic of Kenya has the power and authority as well as the moral obligation to step in and save the single mothers from inhumane evictions. Number two, the Nairobi City County and the national government have shown an unwillingness to listen to the grievances of the members. Now, therefore, We, the undersigned humble petitioners, pray that the Senate inquire into the matter with a view to, number 1, recommend immediate cessation of eviction threats and allow SMAK to continue its work without intimidation. 2, clarify the true boundaries and legal status of a land reference number CP and ARCH stroke 00219, excision of a disused parking lot at the Hindu Cemetery, LR number 209 stroke 6738 stroke Part Kinyanjui Street Part Development Plan, reference number CPFP Zone 2 stroke 126 stroke 10 stroke 07. We humbly submit this petition for your consideration and appropriate action. Reported by Senator Sifuna, Senator Nairobi.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. The petition is well received by the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Next order. Okay, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 22381, I commit the petition to the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources. And also, Chair, I can see you around. According to Standing Order 282, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading of the prayer to table its report in the Senate for consideration. And also I want to thank you, Chair, the new brand chair of the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee. You are doing so well. And I know you'll be able also to execute these other petition within the 60 days. Chair Rance.
Speaker, you are aware that we are going on recess, and despite my committee's commitment to deal with the petitions and statements and all other work that is channeled to the committee, we shall be able to deliver on this petition at the shortest time possible. Although we are going on recess, but we are going to see immediately, maybe once we cross over the holidays, we shall be able to meet and be able to look at the petition. Mr. Speaker, we have so many land problems in this country, and we appreciate that members of the public have a lot of confidence in the Senate, and therefore we don't want to let that goodwill which we have been able to earn over the years to be able to be to die away. So we are going to do the best we can to be able to conclude the petitions and also the statements. We know we have a very heavy task ahead of us, but we'll be able to measure up to the standard. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, the Chair. Thank you, Chair. Let's go to the next one, Clerk.
Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader.
And these are the ones. They're all the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 25th of November, 2025. This is the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President, delivered at a special sitting of Parliament on Thursday, the 20th of November, 2025. Mr. Speaker, also the 12th annual report on all measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values and principles of governance. Number 3, the annual report to Parliament on the state of national security. Number 4, the Power of Mercy Advisory Committee annual report and financial statements for the financial year 2024-2025. Number 5, the annual report on the state of judiciary and administration of justice for the financial year 2024-2025. These are the documents, Mr. Speaker, laid before the Speaker of our House in the National Assembly chamber during the State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I have the following reports as well to lay, which is reports of the Auditor General on the financial statement for the following counties for the year ended 30th June 2025. The Kericho County Assembly, members Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, the Kericho County Climate Change Fund, Siaya County Assembly Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, Siaya County Emergency Fund, Vihiga County Education Fund, Vihiga County Trade and Entrepreneurship Fund, the County Assembly of Nyeri Car Loan and Mortgage Member Scheme Fund, County Assembly of Nyeri Car Loan and Mortgage Staff Scheme Fund, Nyeri County Enterprise Development Fund, Nyeri County Elimu Fund, Fort Beverage Industries Company Limited, County Government of Nyeri, Muranga County Agriculture Farm Input Subsidy and Incentive Fund, AFIS Fund, Kisumu County Education Fund, Kirinyaga County Assembly Car Loan Members Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025, Nyamira County Assembly Car and Mortgage Loan Fund, Nyamira County Education, Bomet County Assembly Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, Bomet County Education Revolving Fund, Bomet County Bursary Fund, Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital, County Government of Kisii, Iftin Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Garissa, Muranga County Emergency Fund, Muranga Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Kenol Municipality, County Government of Muranga, Kitui County Assembly Services Board Employees Car and Mortgage Fund Schemes, Mutomo Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kitui, Meru County Revenue Board, Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital, County Government of Meru, Nyambene Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Meru, Mwala Water and Sanitation Company Limited, County Government of Machakos, Machakos County Referral Hospital, County Government of Machakos, County Assembly of Embu Car Loan and Mortgage Staff Scheme Fund, Turkana County Community Health Services Fund, Kajiado County Youth and Enterprise Fund, Youth and Women Enterprise Fund, County Assembly of Lamu Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, Mandera County Education Bursary Fund, Wajir County Bursary Fund. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next on the clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next on. I thought we can go to 7 first. The motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give notice of the following motion that pursuant to Standing Order number 27-6 of the Senate records its thanks for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of His Excellency the President, delivered on Thursday, the 20th of November 2025, and laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 25th of November 2025, and notes additionally the following report submitted by His Excellency the President in fulfillment of Articles 132(1)(c) 1 and 247 of the Constitution, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 25th of November 2025. 1. The 12th annual report on all measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of the principles of the national values and principles of governance, and 2. The annual report to Parliament on the state of the national security. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. The next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
We have a request for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. We start with the nominated Senator, Senator Shakira Abdara, MP.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I request for statement on the rehabilitation of Kizingitini and Dao landing sites in Lamu County. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resource on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the need for urgent rehabilitation of the Kizingitini and Dau landing sites in Lamu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Kizingitini and Dau landing sites in Lamu East serve as vital economic lifelines for fishing and marine trade, sustaining the livelihoods and food security of hundreds of families. These sites have suffered extensive degradation due to climate change related impacts, including sea level rise, tide surges, and coastal erosion, disrupting fishing activities, compromising safety, and stalling local development. Given their strategic importance and the availability of climate adaptation findings through the Finance Local-Led Climate Action FLOCA program and the County Climate Financing, the Climate Resilience Investment Grant, and the Kenya Marine Fisheries and Social Economic Development KEMSED projects, it is imperative that rehabilitation options be urgently explored. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following: whether the rehabilitation of Kizingitini and Dau landing sites qualify for financing under the FLOCA, CCRIG, and KEMSED frameworks, considering their climate vulnerability and economic significance. Number two, the mechanism established to enable county governments and local communities to access and effectively utilize funds from these programs for climate resilience marine infrastructures. Number three, whether the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Change and Forestry, in collaboration with the State Department, for Blue Economy and Fisheries, is aware of the deteriorating condition of these sites and what immediate interventions can be initiated. Number four, the accountability, transparency, and community participation mechanism in place in the implementation of FLOCA, CCRIG, and KEMSED projects, particularly in Lamu County. And number five, parliamentary action on prioritizing vulnerable coastal and island communities in future national and county level climate financing and infrastructure rehabilitation and coastal protection. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Shakila, nominated.
Thank you. Next is the Senator for Kisumu County, Senator Professor Tom Ongenda. So that statement is dropped. Next is Senator for Busia County. The Senator from Busia County.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Senator Andrew
Speaker.
Mtata, MP.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my request for a statement is on the handover of the management of the Amboseli National Park to the county government of Kajiado. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment, and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern regarding the recent transfer of the management of Amboseli National Park to the county government of Kajiado. Mr. Speaker, sir, the recent transfer of management of Amboseli National Park to the county government of Kajiado, officiated by His Excellency the President on 8 November 2025, raises profound constitutional, legal, environmental, and administrative concerns. National parks are constitutionally vested in the national government, and this action touches on governance of public land. The mandate of the Kenya Wildlife Service, the independence of the National Land Commission, and compliance with the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013. Mr. Speaker, the Amboseli National Park, a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve and critical transboundary ecosystem, generates significant national revenue and sustains globally important wildlife population. Its historical designation and prior court rulings underscore the sensitivity of altering its management status. Amboseli National Park is not merely a local asset. It is a heritage of the national and international importance. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the legal framework and compliance with Article 187 of the Constitution on intergovernmental transfer of functions. 2, whether there was consultation with the National Land Commission, the Kenya Wildlife Service, and the Ministry of Lands, clarifying their roles in the new arrangement. 3, establish whether public participation, environmental and spatial planning, and climate considerations were undertaken before the handover. 4, mechanisms in place for revenue collection, auditing, and accountability for income generated from the park. 5, precedent setting implications for other counties regarding the control of national conservation assets and safeguards in their place for national interests. 6, compliance with constitutional provisions, specifically Article 62, Clause 4, 67, Clause 1 and 2, 68, Clause C, Roman 2, 69, Clause 1, 186, Clause 1, 187, Clauses 1 and 2, Function 22 of the 4th Schedule, and relevant statutes, including the Water Act of 2016, the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act of 2013, the Intergovernmental Relations Act of 2012, and the Land Act of 2012. Signed, Senator Andrew Mtato Koiti MP, Senator from Busia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Senator from Busia County. So, honorable senators, as per Standing Order 45-2, I want to reorganize the business that we have this afternoon, that we skip order number 8, we'll come back to order number 8, after putting questions on order number 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, first of all, I want to ascertain whether we have quorum, clerk, to put the questions. Yes, ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes.
Well, the business of the Senate is underway, and that quorum bell coming to your end is necessitated by the issues of quorum. The Speaker, owing to the powers bestowed upon him by the House Standing Orders, has opted to rearrange today's order paper for the House to consider motion number 9, 10, and 11, all the way to 12, that requires the House to vote on a number of motions before the floor this afternoon. That quorum is a notification to senators to get back into the chamber this afternoon for the House to vote on the motions that are due for voting. They include the installation of cameras in police stations.
Order number 9, motion. Installation of CCTV cameras in all police stations, cells, and police reporting desks. Question to be put.
Honorable Senators, this order motion was debated, and now what we have is to put the question. Senator Gataya, can you find your way to your seat as fast as possible? Honorable Senators, I put the question that aware that Article 51 provides that a person who is detained, held in custody, or imprisoned under the law retains all the rights and fundamental freedoms in the Bill of Rights, except to the extent that any particular right or a fundamental freedom is clearly incompatible with the fact that the person is detained, held in custody, or imprisoned. Further, aware that the National Task Force on Improvement of the Terms and Conditions of Service and other reforms for members of the National Police Service and Kenya Prison Service recommended adequate government funding for the National Police Service to modernize its facilities, equipment, and gear, and enhance its logistical and technological capabilities for National Police Service officers in order to enable the service to discharge its mandate efficiently and effectively. Cognizant that the Bill of Rights provides for freedom of human rights, prevention of abuse, and upholding of the rule of law within the detention facilities and police stations. Concerned that there has been increasing reports of human rights violations, abuse, and sustained injuries and deaths in custody, as well as security breaches and escapes from police cells across the country. Further concerned that despite the recommendations by the Justice Maraga Task Force, little or no efforts have been made to ensure modernization of police cells by installation of closed-circuit television, CCTV, cameras, and police providing desks, thereby affecting public trust and accountability on what happens to persons in police custody. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the national government, through the Ministry of Interior and the National Administration, 1, installs functional and tamper-proof CCTV cameras in all police stations, cells, and police reporting desks across the country. And 2, ensures that all CCTV systems are monitored in real time and that footage is securely stored and made accessible during the investigations, judicial processes, and 3, provides the necessary resources, technical support, and training to law enforcement officers for the effective operation and maintenance of CCTV systems and continuous digitization of occurrence book platforms. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 10, motion, consideration of the National Assembly amendments to the Metrology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, resumption of debate interrupted on Thursday, 18th November 2025. Question to be put.
Honorable Senators, also under order number 10, we are also putting the question. And I put the question that the National Assembly amendments to the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 11, motion, report of the consultative meeting of the Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, FPICGLR, held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, from 22nd to 24th January 2025. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 19th November. Question to be put.
Honorable Senators, the two gracious ladies, kindly find your way to the nearest seat that you can occupy. You don't need to rush. Where are you rushing to? You just freeze and wait for the chair to put the question. Honorable Senators, also under this order, we are now putting the question. And Honorable Senators, I put the question that the Senate knows the report of the consultative meeting of the Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, FPICGLR, held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, from 22nd to 24th January 2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Sorry, I'm not clear on that vote. Let me repeat. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next on the clerk.
Order number 12, motion, establishment of national teaching and referral hospitals in Kenya. Question to be put.
Again, Honorable Senators, under this order number 12, the debate was concluded, and now I want to put the question. Senator Mofaya, Senator Modigi, Senator Mutinda. I don't know why you are exchanging greetings now after you have been here for almost more than 1 hour. Honorable Senators, I put the question that aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution of Kenya provides that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, including reproductive health care. Noting that in Kenya we have 5 national teaching and referral hospitals with the Kenyatta University Research and Teaching Hospital in Kiambu County, and the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, being the only ones outside Nairobi County. Concerned that the bed capacity, medical equipment, and human capital in these national teaching and referral hospitals are not sufficient to absorb all the patients seeking specialized treatment. Further concerned that many Kenyans with critical health conditions travel long distances in order to access specialized services in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret or Nairobi, where the other 4 national teaching and referral hospitals are located, leading to high costs of travel, augmented disease, and in some cases, deaths along the way. Now, therefore, the Senate urges, 1, the Minister of Health to establish national teaching and referral hospitals in the coast, eastern, northeastern, Nyanza and western regions, and fully equip the national teaching and referral hospitals with modern medical equipment, medical supplies, and personnel. And 2, the county governments to allocate more funds to their respective health dockets to adequately facilitate their county level 5 and level 6 hospitals in order to enhance provision of critical health services to reduce the demand for such services from the national teaching and referral hospitals. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now, Senators, we revert back to order number 8. Majority leader. Sorry.
Order number 8, motion, debate on the President's address to Parliament, first day.
Majority leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the following motion, which is a debate on the President's address to Parliament. That pursuant to Standing Order number 27.6 of the Senate A records its thanks to His Excellency for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of His Excellency the President, delivered on Thursday, the 20th of November, 2025, and laid on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 25th of November, 2025. And B, notes the following report submitted by His Excellency the President in fulfillment of Article 132(1)(c)(1) and 247 of the Constitution, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 25th of November, 2025. 1. The 12th annual report of all measures taken on the progress achieved in realization of the national values and principles of governance. And 2, the annual report to Parliament on the state of national security. Mr. Speaker, I have a slight cold and therefore may not speak for as long as I would have wished, and also may not speak as well as I normally do, assuming that I do it well, Mr. Speaker. That's just self-assessment. But I'll try and do this in the shortest time possible, but also give dignity to a very solemn process of our constitutional order, Mr. Speaker. Then I will yield the floor to my colleague, the Senator for Migori, the first rising and aiming very high and very likely to achieve it, Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech, to second. Mr. Speaker, I was speaking earlier that this is in fulfillment to Article 132, where our Constitution placed on the shoulders of the man or woman that will at that time have the opportunity to lead the nation to at least once every year report to Parliament or to the people of Kenya through their representative on the steps that the country has taken towards the realization of national values and what is the state of the Republic at that particular time. And therefore, this, Mr. Speaker, is the 12th State of the Nation address since the coming into place of this Constitution 15 years ago, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it's a ritual that must be observed with great reflection, because it's a moment that the representatives of the people, Mr. Speaker, gather to listen and take account of the report from none other than the head of government, who is the president, Mr. Speaker, on the steps that his administration has taken towards the realization of those values as enshrined under our Constitution, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, when such occasions arise, it is always good, and I appreciate that almost 80% or 90%, if my estimate is correct, Mr. Speaker, of members of this House who are present in the National Assembly chamber. It's the only time that we get to go to that house, Mr. Speaker. Unlike those of us, unlike you, who've had the opportunity to serve in that house, Mr. Speaker, that's the only time we get to head to that chamber. And therefore, we take the time to listen keenly, appreciate, critique, give feedback, Mr. Speaker, share our own thoughts on our assessment and reading of the things that he said, whether they are accurate, whether they are verifiable, whether they can be reported directly as representatives of the people. That is his view as a head of state. As representatives of the people, Mr. Speaker, we also take the chance and the moment to reflect alongside his thoughts. And of course, as is the work of a representative of the people, to his credit, that which is due to him, we will give. And that which is not due to him, Mr. Speaker, we will disagree and say, on that part, Your Excellency, I don't think that's a fair reflection of the things that are expected of you. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, that is my thoughts and how I intend to arrange my flow of thoughts towards the exposition that was given by His Excellency, the President, on the 20th of November, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that from the very onset, the President set out to expose and share the perspective of where he sits as a head of government and the steps that have been taken in realizing some of the key promises that he made while campaigning in the run-up to the last general elections. And the people of this country granted the opportunity for the Kenya Kwanza administration to run the affairs of our state. What are the things that have been achieved? And it was also anchored, Mr. Speaker, at the right time, because I had, a member of this House saying that this thing looks visionary and you don't have the time to execute the second part of the statement. And I, Mr. Speaker, I'd wish to correct and put it on record that the affairs of nation building are not limited to the individual, Mr. Speaker. It is our collective responsibility only that they can only be one steward at a time. And being a steward at a time does not limit you in terms of time and space in reimagining and shaping the vision of your country, Mr. Speaker. If those that have succeeded to build great republics, Mr. Speaker, had thought of that which they can achieve only during the term of their presidency, Mr. Speaker, then there wouldn't be the great republics that we talk about today. A leader must have foresight and sometimes have a vision bigger than even your tenure and term of your administration, so that you do that which you can, so long as it's the right thing, and you leave the rest for others to continue the work of building. Just like the current president is building on the foundations that were laid by our forefathers. He's building on or trying to make things right in places where we have gotten it wrong and ensuring that we move towards progress. And therefore, listening to the president on that day, Mr. Speaker, share the beautiful stories about the numbers and the figures and the people that are benefiting from the various programs that are being run, from the financial inclusion program, otherwise known as the Hustler Fund, Mr. Speaker, to the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that today ply their job of trade in the thousands of sites of affordable housing program across the country, Mr. Speaker, to those that are executing the Climate Works program, trying to beautify our towns and cities, making them modern centers, Mr. Speaker, of administration in our various counties, Mr. Speaker, and so on and so forth. Therefore, as members take their time to react and reflect, it will be beautiful and interesting to hear from their perspective what the view is of the people that they represent in this House, Mr. Speaker. One thing is for sure, though. If you want to disagree, it will be important to disagree, Mr. Speaker, based on facts and the things that are verifiable, and not alternative facts, or don't be like another gentleman, Mr. Speaker, for whose name shall remain anonymous for now, who, when he saw a road being launched, Mr. Speaker, rushed there the same day in the evening saying that I expect a road to be here, as if it is chapati making, Mr. Speaker. You disagree based on the facts as they stand, and also, Mr. Speaker, objectively, saying, while this might be the case, it is my expectation that this and that ought to have been done. Because as representatives of the people, Mr. Speaker, it is not in our place to agree to everything. And it is not necessarily the perspective of the people whose voice I use in this House, Mr. Speaker, to see things from what the President sees about those particular things. But it is also in our place to appreciate where there has been great and steady progress and to say this has been done. It is an incontrovertible fact. For example, Mr. Speaker, that there are 21 million registered, that there are 7.1 million registered farmers who, if today you went to the Ministry of Agriculture and asked for their names, they can be shown to you, Mr. Speaker. Whether you want to agree or disagree, Mr. Speaker, is not something for debate, because what can be up for debate, Senator Eddy, is perspective. But facts are not up for debate, because it's either that they are there or they are not. And that features prominently in this speech that is before us. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate also that in this speech you are being challenged to step beyond the comfort of familiar and ordinary as a country, and to reach, the President reminded us, with clarity and conviction, nothing less than excellence and greatness, which is not an easy duty. If you read the history of nations, and I believe many of us here, because Parliament takes care of its members, we get to travel the breadth and span of this world, actually. Many members, particularly those that have served in committees, Mr. Speaker, you get to travel almost in every continent across the globe and get to see and hear stories about countries that have pulled themselves from poverty, Mr. Speaker, from third world to first world, as we were reminded on that particular day, and it's never an easy exercise. Yet, those steps must be recorded. Yet, the progress that is made, Mr. Speaker, is a story that must be told for future generations to refer back to. If we succeed, Mr. Speaker, and I say when, not if, I want to correct what I'm saying, it will be reflected back, Mr. Speaker, with a lot of deep angst that there was a time that the country decided to take a different trajectory in terms of matters development and find better ways of doing things, Mr. Speaker. Then this particular moment, the 20th of November 2025, will live as a practical moment of when the country actually was summoned to excellence and they yielded to the call, Mr. Speaker, because the President gave us actually the roadmap of how we can achieve that as a people, and we can all pull our share of the weight, Mr. Speaker. You know, the unfortunate thing about this republic is that we mix a lot politics with nation building. And we have never found the correct divide, Mr. Speaker, between what is politics and what is, Mr. Speaker, actual progress of making a republic. And therefore, on that account, Mr. Speaker, we must be sincere to ourselves and say the things we agree with, these are things that we need to focus on as a country, and it doesn't matter who does them. Whether those that we agree with or disagree with politically are pushing for such matters, Mr. Speaker, so long as it is in the greater interest of that which we aim to achieve as a republic, Mr. Speaker, then we must know that there is need to draw a fine line between those matters and our daily political competition, Mr. Speaker. And that is what I expect that we shall do that as a people, because if others have been able to do, if others have been able to rise beyond the smallness of politics and focusing on, if Senator Eddy disagrees with me, and I don't think that they need to make any forward steps, then it is my interest to try and make sure that they don't achieve, even if it was in the best interest of the very people that we all claim to serve, Mr. Speaker. So if others have been able to do it, like the President reminded us on that particular day, it can and should be done, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first report actually about this was just a reminder, because, you know, there are many times we are told that, oh, things have gotten worse. We have challenges all over. until sometimes in all the context of political juxtaposition, Mr. Speaker, it is easy to imagine that we are in a difficult situation than we were 2 or 3 years ago. Yet all the indicators scientifically through proven results that are tabled in the report that is before us today demonstrate or point to a path of progress that has been achieved the last few years, Mr. Speaker. And the President took time to remind us about a few things that have happened from that particular time. From inflation, Mr. Speaker, you'd remember fuel shortages that were part and parcel of our daily political culture. In 2022, when he came into office, the shilling that was on a free fall at that particular time was trading nearly at 170 shillings for more than a year. It is a global phenomenon that is about to be studied now. How a third world country like ours can stabilize their currency and make it stable for and sustain that particular currency for close to 2 years now at the place where it has been, despite all the challenges and the global economic challenges that exist therein. It is within that context, Mr. Speaker, that it is within that particular context, Mr. Speaker, that this progress is recorded for people to appreciate and to know that from a time where we're talking about an inflation of near double digits, 9.6% in 2022, Mr. Speaker, to 4.6, almost taking it to near zero, Mr. Speaker. It has taken a lot of effort. It has taken putting a stop to unhelpful subsidies, Mr. Speaker, some of which were just grand schemes of making money for the ordinary, a few rich friends, Mr. Speaker. I'd give you the example, Mr. Speaker, that at the time of coming to office, there was supposed to be some unga subsidy, Mr. Speaker, where people will take money and give it to a few millers and say, produce for us cheaply. Instead of empowering the local farmer, Mr. Speaker, for them to produce the raw material, which is a maize, Mr. Speaker, so that they can sell eventually to the millers and avoid importing, Mr. Speaker, and therefore benefit the ordinary citizens. Of course, the successful redemption of the Eurobond as well is recorded alongside that progress in terms of fiscal consolidation and just managing our economy better, including, Mr. Speaker, the strides that have been made moving us from the 8th largest economy on the globe to now standing at the 6th, Mr. Speaker. And there are people who erroneously argue and say, oh, it's because so-and-so defaulted. So who tells you we could also not have defaulted? We could equally have defaulted, Mr. Speaker. It is because there were right decisions that were made, and that is why Kenya did not default on its debt obligations, despite the fact that at the coming into place of this administration, we were under very serious debt distress. And in fact, Kenya is among the 6 countries that in 2022, all the leading global financial institutions have predicted that the 6 of those nations were, it was a matter of just when and not if they were going to default. And in fact, they were right, Mr. Speaker, because 5 out of 6 of those predictions came to pass. It is only Kenya that did not default, Mr. Speaker. And that did not happen by magic. It happened because of prudent management of our public resources, ending these unhelpful subsidies, Mr. Speaker, in fuel and food items, Mr. Speaker, in empowering the local farmer, in ensuring that we stabilize, Mr. Speaker, the forex reserves, Mr. Speaker, through reduction of imports. See, for example, anytime a progressive intervention was made, Mr. Speaker, you can remember the amount of noise that was in this town when the G2G fuel program was introduced. And we were told, Mr. Speaker, we were going to see the benefits because the leading demand for foreign exchange as a country for us was import of oil into the country, Mr. Speaker, because we are not an oil-producing country, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, when that program was signed in, and we were told that it is possible for us to reduce the appetite for forex so that it stabilize and make our currency a bit stronger, there were people running around. There were merchants all over, from the streets to newspapers to here in Parliament, saying how this is a scam and it will never work. 3 years down the line, Mr. Speaker, there are countries that come purely sent by none other than their heads of state to meet with the representatives of the Ministry of Petrol and Energy just to study how that program is being implemented here so that they can go and implement it. So sometimes we beat ourselves too hard, Mr. Speaker. Of course, I understand it's because of politics and people have to make their bread, Mr. Speaker, through some of the things that they say, but you cannot argue with results. You cannot argue, for example, with the contribution that G2G has made in stabilizing our currency, Mr. Speaker. This progress, Mr. Speaker, has not been without its own share of challenges, Mr. Speaker. In fact, that is why, just in concluding that topic of economic management, Mr. Speaker, is that the President reminds us that actually all the leading global financial institutions, as many as you can name, from Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, JP Morgan, name them, Mr. Speaker, have projected that our economy will grow near 6%, Mr. Speaker, in the next year. I believe we can do better, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, with the interventions that have been made or that were proposed on that particular day, upon successful implementation, Mr. Speaker, of world-class infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, supply of energy that is enough to power up our industries, that is cost-effective, Mr. Speaker, irrigation to make sure that we are a food-sufficient country and reduce our dependence on imports, Mr. Speaker, so that ordinary farmers, Mr. Speaker, can feed the country and even feed the rest of the world through exports, Mr. Speaker, are things that will ensure that we move towards our dream that I've had from, I think, as soon as I started voting. Almost every presidential candidate from 2002 has always promised a double-digit economic growth. None has achieved it. Should we successfully implement some of the things that are being talked about in this particular speech, Mr. Speaker, then that dream will cease being a campaign item and become a reality, Mr. Speaker. There is something that the President mentioned about the Nairobi Securities Exchange that has seen a resurgence and made it one of the best emerging markets global. You will recall, Mr. Speaker, that about a year or two ago, we were being laughed at by the usual cynics, the ones the President referred to in the speech as high priest of pessimism, Mr. Speaker, who are telling us that the stock exchange was collapsing in our hands. But because of the decisions that were made, Mr. Speaker, things are getting better. And there is a resurgence. There is a better market today. If you speak to players in that particular space, they will give testimony of the progress that is being made. That is now one of the respected stock exchange in the region, Mr. Speaker, and competes very effectively globally. The only thing that the President may have forgotten to mention, which I'd wish to remind him, is that the Kenya Kwanza made it a campaign promise that we will carry out reforms in the security exchange that will make it possible even for the ordinary citizens, including boda people and mama mboga, to trade by simplifying the whole arrangement, making it possible. Kenya is a global leader in terms of financial inclusion and the use of digital space for financial inclusion, Mr. Speaker. And there is no reason whatsoever. I believe it was on that premise that that campaign promise was made to the people of Meru when they were listening during the economic charter, that we will make it possible for you to trade from Nkubu down in Meru, Mr. Speaker, on your phone at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And that remains to be a dream that must be realized, and that the President must make sure that at the next time he reports back to this House, that it needs to be one of the items that is ticked off the bucket list. Mr. Speaker, you know, the other day I was listening to, I don't know if they were Catholic bishops. You know, Kenya is the only country, Mr. Speaker, where people want to make political statements and want them to pass as if they are scientific. I listened to the Catholic bishops the other day, Mr. Speaker. They were telling us about, you know, there's a high cost of living. I thought, Mr. Speaker, there's a scientific way for measuring cost of living. And there are indices and pointers to which you look at, Mr. Speaker, to establish whether there is a high or a low cost of living in a particular country. This one that we have reduced into a political talk of just saying, oh, bei ya maisha imeenda juu, Mr. Speaker, that is political rhetoric, which myself and the rest of a politician, when we are doing opposition politics, we are allowed. But I don't think it is in the place of credible institutions to reduce themselves into making that particular noise. So long as interest rates, Mr. Speaker, are coming down, so long as inflation figures are going down, meaning that the purchasing power of the ordinary citizen is improving. The amount of money, disposable income that is available to them, the goods that they can buy with 1,000 shillings is more than that which they could have bought a year ago due to the lowering of inflation, Mr. Speaker. Then which cost exactly are people talking about? Mr. Speaker, it will be important that sometimes we distinguish between political pronunciations and the reality of life, Mr. Speaker. The cost of basic commodities, the very basic things that we normally refer to in this particular dispensation, ordinary things which the people that we represent buy off the market, you can establish and draw a parallel of what was the cost back then and what is the cost right now, and you would establish whether what is being said here is true or not true, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, sometimes I hear people say very ignorant statements. Oh, where will William Ruto get the votes from? I don't know. There are people who are angry with him because of, what is it called, this one, the deductions for the housing levy. And I don't know this other one. While you may record some of the people that you'd say for one reason. First of all, there are many other people that I meet every other day who make their share of contribution in paying taxes and some of the deductions, including SHA. And the only concern that they have is that whatever deduction has been made out of them, so long as it is put to prudent use, they don't feel as if it is money that they have been robbed from, Mr. Speaker. So long as the resources in SHA, they see it benefiting the ordinary citizen, and it's a national contribution which they can see it is easing the burden of millions of other Kenyans who ordinarily will never have afforded to go to a hospital even, Mr. Speaker. But now because of the confidence of membership in SHA, can actually visit a public hospital or even a private one sometimes and get treatment, Mr. Speaker. Then they appreciate and they say, be that as it may, I may feel bad that I'm paying a higher price, but because it benefits other citizens, I appreciate. My only caution is that that money should never be wasted. Over and above those citizens, because there are many such, Mr. Speaker, there are also those who are benefiting from programs such as this. There are farmers who, including in your own Meru, Mr. Speaker, who will never have planted with fertilizer because at 7,000 shillings per bag or 7,200, it was beyond their purchasing power. But now that it has been reduced to 2,500, they're able to plant with fertilizer, meaning that they earn better yields, the quality of their crop is better, and they earn more. And they are registered with the Ministry of Agriculture. 7.1 million of them, Mr. Speaker. That particular person, when the decision is before them on whether to choose to proceed with an administration that listens to their cries and appreciates where they're coming from as farmers, and others whose mainstay is rhetoric, insults, and division, and tribalism and regionalism, Mr. Speaker, then the choice will be obvious like day and night. Of course, I don't want to let out a lot of secret, Mr. Speaker. I would appreciate that the current clueless opposition continues in their rhetoric as they do it every day, because it's not in my place to educate them on the things they need to tell members of the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the President mentioned under this topic of agriculture on tea, for example, and I'm a representative of very serious tea farmers. I come from the region that produces the largest tea figures, actually, the west of the Rift. And you know the noise that has been existing in that particular sector. Of course, the President gave the global figures of the earnings, which no one is in dispute, that there has been better, that the figures are better nationally. But remember, we still have our issues which Mr. Speaker, remember I had cautioned that I have a cold and will not talk for too long. In fact, apart from this one of tea, I'll just cover maybe one or two other things. Then I leave the rest to my colleague to speak about also. Is that, you know the challenges that we have in the tea sector, especially farmers from the west of the Rift. Recently, there were earnings from the KTDA factories which brought a lot of complaints from my farmers, Mr. Speaker. and particularly because of two things that KTDA has refused to do. Number one, they have refused to use a scientific method in the determination, Mr. Speaker, of the quality of tea, which is one of the items that they consider when making a determination on the price for the buyers to pay. And so long as that remains unaddressed, I don't think my tea farmers will be happy, Mr. Speaker. Second, and most importantly, we must see investment in the tea subsector, Mr. Speaker, of the economy to stabilize that market, especially given the fact, Mr. Speaker, that there is need for new markets where our farmers can sell their tea apart from the traditional markets that we have been used to, Mr. Speaker. Tea farmers have held the agriculture sector in this country for too long. They are the only farmers that have never benefited from a serious government support program. And therefore, I don't think it will be too much for asking if farmers, particularly those in the west of the Rift, ask that during this difficult time, Mr. Speaker, that they benefit from such a program so that they can earn better. Otherwise, I appreciate this increase in earnings from 138 to 215 billion, but the only way it can make sense, Mr. Speaker, is if the ordinary farmer from deep down in the villages from where we come from, Mr. Speaker, can see that and record it as an improvement of earning, particularly from both KTDA, Mr. Speaker, and the other privately run factories as well, Mr. Speaker, so that they earn better. The coffee subsector, Mr. Speaker, which, and I know you are a representative of coffee farmers, and you know in 2022, many people were nearly uprooting their coffee, Mr. Speaker. But because of interventions that have been done, Mr. Speaker, the farmers now are happy. In fact, I once recorded in this house one afternoon that rarely do members of the public tell us thank you for the things that we do. But at least I know it on record, Mr. Speaker, that in all the public functions that I have gone to in coffee growing areas in my county, the farmers appreciate and they say thank the President and thank you as our leaders because of the interventions that you made in the coffee subsector, Mr. Speaker. Today we are earning better. I hope that we can carry on that progress and achieve more. I know cotton production is mentioned. There are colleagues from that region who will speak about it. I represent sugarcane farmers as well. I know that a lot has been done in that particular subsector, Mr. Speaker, and a lot more remains to be done. But at least as we speak today, Mr. Speaker, farmers in the sugarcane subsector are happier than where they were 2 or 3 years ago. Because of reforms in that sector, the bill that we passed in this house, Mr. Speaker, the support that they have gotten from the government, at least right now they are receiving payment and that they are back to their farms actually, Mr. Speaker, and the production in that area is better. There is a surge actually in the area under production. More than 200,000 acres extra has been put under farm because once a farmer is assured of payment for their goods and services, they are happy about it. The same can be said of our livestock sector, particularly the leather industry, Mr. Speaker. There's a lot of intervention that's still needed there, but the progress is therefore recorded. Under the dairy sector, I'd mentioned, Mr. Speaker, that while there's good progress in terms particularly the decision, Mr. Speaker, to reduce the cost of sex semen from 8,000 to 1,000 shillings. I hope that in future, Mr. Speaker, we can intervene and ensure that as well we have actually made intervention. I know you are a representative, Mr. Speaker, of one of the largest dairy cooperative union in the country, one that many in the country admire. And you know that during the annual general meeting, including the one for this year, because I watched it when the President was there, the number one thing that dairy farmers continue, and I'm one of the dairy farmers, though at a small scale level, Mr. Speaker, one of the things they plead for is whether there can be better intervention to bring down the cost of feeds, because it's one of the things that continues to challenge. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope that that is an area that jointly we could worry about. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, there are many, many things that I could record, and there are many conversations that will arise out of this speech, including the bold vision that the President sold, especially the focus on the 4 key areas. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that when members rise they'll give their thoughts and share that which they feel needs to be done to make Kenya a better republic, Mr. Speaker, so that things move and we achieve the progress that we have always yearned for. With those very many remarks, I would have wished to say more, Mr. Speaker, but like I have observed, I have a cold, and I'm struggling, actually, as I do this, and I don't want to cough away, Mr. Speaker, the afternoon. There is still a lot to be said, which I believe my colleagues who are in the House will get an opportunity. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Senator for Migori, Senator Eddie Okech, to second.
Senator Eddie Okech, you second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Majority Leader for the trust that he has with me to be able to second this momentous, motion. Because, Mr. Speaker, as he has said, it is the requirement, it's a constitutional requirement that the President does, give this kind of report on, all the measures that he has taken and progress that he has achieved with realizing all our national values, as well as intentionally giving a progress to the country on the fulfillment he has had in his international obligations, and most importantly, giving the state of security, which is not only in terms of hard security, but also in terms of economic security, as well as other forms of security, including food security. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that this is an honor for which I wanted just to make a few comments. And I'll start my comments, Mr. Speaker, by appreciation to the fact that I found this year's address more comprehensive and more particular in certain ways. To start with, Mr. Speaker, we find ourselves this year in a broad-based arrangement. And this broad-based arrangement, Mr. Speaker, was brought by a number of indices last year, including the aftermath of struggle of young people on the streets that perhaps was leading to us losing our country. But that could be just something that was a pretext to where Kenya has been. Kenya has been facing a lot of challenges since independence, as the President did indicate here. And for me, I've always held the view that the biggest challenge we have faced as a country in a post-independent Kenya is the challenge of equalizing our country, the challenge of being able to offer equal chances for our country. Remember, Mr. Speaker, when I spoke passionately about Section Paper number 10 of 1965, that took away the rights of almost 13 current counties from developing, Mr. Speaker. It was made so because a few of us in the country, a few of self-seeking leaders in the country, have always believed that some parts of the country should develop more than others. And that's why it was very critical, Mr. Speaker, if you read the line number 12 of the President, he said that we examine the achievement of the past 3 years, results that have laid a firm foundation for equality of opportunity and a nation where no one is left behind. This touched me because it shows the fundamental vision that the President has, which is to equalize the country. And I think this was where the broad base was formed. That is there a possibility that resources, opportunities can be spread equally to individuals, to communities, and to the people of Kenya as is needed. Mr. Speaker, after that, the President went ahead in line 13 of his speech to speak about a vision that we must grow into, which he desired and he called the country to be able to think about, is there a possibility that we can grow together, not only to the extent that our people can be able to have these equal opportunities, but also to rise to the third, from the first, to the first world, from the third world countries, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to perhaps better this language, Mr. Speaker, because I think that the notion that we are in the third world is an old-fashioned notion. But I think that the vision is clear, that can we move from the constant underdevelopment to or the constant developing country to a one that is more developed and a one that everybody can enjoy the opportunity of constant growth and becoming ever better, Mr. Speaker. And I wish, Mr. Speaker, at this point, perhaps to invite us to think about a young man who was called Walter Rodney in 1980, who was actually assassinated in Guyana because he had done some work around this concept of development and underdevelopment of the continent in large, and of course Kenya in particular, in the hands of Europe. His book, or rather the piece of work that was later turned into a book, is called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I think this is a brilliant book, Mr. Speaker, because in that book, Walter Rodney chose to explore what entails development. The development of the individual, then the development of the society. Because these are the indices that actually formed the bulk of the president's speech, perhaps without him knowing. Mr. Speaker, Walter Rodney tells us that if you want to think about development of the individual in the society, because the society must develop from the individual to the family, to the community, then from the community to what now we have as a county, then from the county to nations, then from the nation to a country. If you want to think about the development of the country, Mr. Speaker, then you must definitely start with the individual, being able to increase the capacity of the individual and being able to increase the skill of the individual. And even then, go to the idea of having greater freedom. And this concept of greater freedom, Mr. Speaker, is something that I think that my party leader, Honorable Raila Odinga, fought for so much. When I think about freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, these are concepts that all entail development. But you cannot speak about development in the current world, Mr. Speaker, without thinking about the development that young people have brought into law, which is the development of creativity, development of self-discipline, development of responsibility, development of material well-being of the individual. So that when we think as a country that we are underdeveloped, we don't think of ourselves as underdevelopment of our country means no development at all. It just means that when you enlarge this from the individual going to the country, then it means that our ambition in the context of what the president was speaking about must be, how then do we push our country forward to ensure that we can increase the economic merit of our country as a collective. We can increase the economic well-being of our country, and then we can increase the human social development of our country, basically moving from the individual success to a collective success. And it is in that context, Mr. Speaker, that I want to simplify my conversation around what the president talked about, because his reflection was in simple economic terms divided into two. One was a macro view, basically looking at how has the country performed in terms of macro indices, the larger economic concept that do define our country. And I think, Mr. Speaker, I must say that factually so, the president did an excellent job in terms of highlighting this. And I don't want to belabor some of them because the majority that did belabor, did explain most of them. But certainly, when he looked back at the success, Mr. Speaker, he looked at those macro concepts that have made our economy show a strength on a national, and international stage in the backdrop of everything we have experienced since 2022. For instance, Mr. Speaker, the president did focus on line 25 on inflation, which at the time that this government came into power in 2022, the inflation was at 9.6%. But then, now it has declined down to 4.6%. These are strengths that we must be able to build on, because it basically shows that there is some proper stabilization in terms of the propensity of our people to consume. the purchasing power parity of our people to be able to interact with goods and services in our economy, Mr. Speaker. He also did indicate, Mr. Speaker, that the shilling has actually have a downward spiral from 129, from almost 160 shillings to the dollar in about 2 years ago to now a stable 129, or sometimes oscillating between 128 and 130. I think this is a perfect representation of what's happening in the country, and indeed has been able to make our country stable. But I wish, Mr. Speaker, that the president will have also shown the success on the macro level. And the macro level, Mr. Speaker, is basically how have these things impacted the individuals in this economy, Mr. Speaker. Because if you had focused on this bit, Mr. Speaker, I believe that perhaps the speech could have been more palatable to the population. For instance, how I wish that he could have unpacked things like prices of goods and services in the economy. Because it is true and factual that when the president took over power, the price of milk, for instance, was 35 shillings in 2022. But now, the price of milk to the farmer has increased to 45 shillings, meaning that in the income aspect of a milk farmer, this government has increased 10 shillings in that pocket. If he had put that in place, I think that the milk farmer could have understood him better, instead of just the macro element that he did share. Mr. Speaker, we remember that in 2022, when the president took over the office, the coffee farmers in this country were retailing their coffee at about 65 shillings. Right now, it is factual that the coffee farmer is retailing at 110. If a farmer is getting a share of the retail price of over 50 shillings because of this, I think this should be highlighted by the president in a way that would make it palatable to the common mwananchi. Mr. Speaker, it is also true that he mentioned that the tea earnings have increased from 138 billion to now about 215 billion. But I think that if he had debunked that by bringing the concept that that has led to the impact for the green leaf prices to rise from 50 shillings to now 60 shillings, it could have done a better job in terms of explaining to the populace that actually the impact in the income of the farmer has become 10 shillings more since he got to office. Mr. Speaker, I can go on and on, but I'm seeing, I don't know why my light has come up very, very soon. But I think, Mr. Speaker, he even talked about the element of how sugarcane industry has performed. In the macro level, we have increased production from 490 million metric tons to about 815 million now. But I think, Mr. Speaker, more exciting to the farmer is to indicate that this has actually impacted the importation of sugar that we used to have by cutting it by 70% down, meaning that this has impacted the cost of production to sugar farmers and increased even money in the pocket of sugarcane farmers. Because when you cut importation by 70%, Mr. Speaker, what it basically means is that for the sugarcane farmers in this country, we can say without a doubt that the president has managed, or the government has managed, to increase the price with which their cane is being taken, to increase the price with which their cane is being weighed, but most importantly, to increase the speed with which the cane farmers are now being paid. These are some of the macro levels, Mr. Speaker, that I think that the president did miss in his speech because he focused more on the macro level, that most of the critiques of the president's speech might have missed the impact in terms of the taste of consumer products that people are getting in this country, the impact in terms of the individual income that people are having in this country, the impact in terms of the growth level that people are having at the household level. This is where we should have focused on and made sure that the president's speech come very, very strongly. For instance, Mr. Speaker, the president indicated very well and it is factual, that he has managed to employ 76,000 teachers. When he says that, the number looks so big at a macro level. But the people miss the fact that all these 76 teachers, all of them earn an average of probably 40,000 shillings to about 100,000 shillings. That means that he has put into the pockets of households a lot of money that is having impact at a micro level. These are the hits and misses that I think that the president should have focused on. But very quickly, Mr. Speaker, because I'm seeing the yellow light, Mr. Speaker, it was important to indicate that the president also did cast a vision looking forward with the idea of the National Infrastructure Fund, which also was backed up with what he called the National Sovereign Wealth Fund. And I think, Mr. Speaker, this is a very brilliant idea that can be able to help our country move forward. Mr. Speaker, I must comment here that this House of Senate has originated some very important bills that sometimes the National Assembly do not appreciate that they
Clerk, give Senator Eddy just 1 minute to summarize his contribution.
Yes, I was just saying, Mr. Speaker, that, for instance, the National Sovereign Wealth Fund is something that I have proposed in this House. It's a bill, actually, that is ongoing through scrutiny in this House, Mr. Speaker, that nobody has appreciated. When we talk about stabilizing our revenue structure, this is something that's come from this House that I think that it will be important that when our bills come from this House, they are appreciated, and when they go to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, they are supported, because they are some of the most wonderful ideas that can help this country move forward. With that, Mr. Speaker, I wish to support and second and appreciate all at the same time. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddy Okech. Senator, I'm just checking, Senator Joyce Korir. Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you, Senator Eddy. Thank you, Clerk, for that clarification. Honorable Senators, having had the motion being seconded, I now propose the question. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that, pursuant to Standing Order 27-6, the Senate, A, records its thanks for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of His Excellency the President, delivered on Thursday, 20th November 2025, and laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 25th November 2025, and B, notes the following report submitted by His Excellency the President in fulfillment of Article 132, Sub-Article 1C1 and Article 240, Sub-Article 7 of the Constitution, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 25th November 2025. 1. 12th Annual Report on all measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values and principles of governance. And 2. The Annual Report to Parliament on the state of the national security 2025. National Security 2025. Now, Honorable Senators, this motion is available for comments, and I will invite the members who requested to comment on the motion. I'll start with Senator Joyce Korir. Clerk, give Senator Joyce the microphone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also give my views on the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Honorable Speaker, as it has been proposed by my honorable colleagues, Honorable Speaker, allow me to really thank the government for the strides that they have made since the inception of these, or since they came to power in 2022. Honorable Speaker, this government came in at such a time when things were so tough, when life was so hard, when the prices of the basic needs were so much higher. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to thank His Excellency the President for making sure that this country is unified, not only politically, but socially and economically, Honorable Speaker. Today, as we speak, we are speaking from the perception of the broad-based government. The broad-based government that has brought everyone on board, Honorable Speaker. I must commend the honorable members of the two houses, because a government or the executive cannot be able to deliver if not through the support of these houses. I extend my appreciation to the entire staff of this house, of the both houses, because they've been able to assist the honorable members to make sure that they discharge their services accordingly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to speak about agriculture, because this is the main backbone of this country. Honorable Speaker, I can attest that through the subsidy of fertilizer, a number of Kenyans can be able to smile today because they have food on their table. This has been a challenge, but it has given us hope as a house to know that we can do more. If we can if we can subsidize the fertilizer, if we can subsidize the seeds, if we can equip our farmers in terms of diversifying the crops. Honorable Speaker, I can attest that as of now, the country has seen an increase in terms of productivity, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to talk about the issue of tea, which has become very emotional. It has become something that has been, I can say, it's part of the challenges that we have still in agriculture. But I want to believe that the strides that they have been made, I've seen a number of committees going to the ground, trying to do the fact findings of what is really causing the decrease in terms of their bonuses. And Honorable Speaker, I can assure the Kenyans that the government is on top of things in terms of making sure that this issue is addressed once and once for all, ranging from the quality to the issues of the markets and the pay, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to say that agriculture has played a key role when it comes to the issues. Of course, Kenya is known for productivity in terms of milk and other farm produce, Honorable Speaker. And as we speak now, I can say we can't compare the last years with the current years in terms of pay. Honorable Speaker, I must commend the government. Despite the fact that, Honorable Speaker, the government is struggling, the president is struggling together with the relevant stakeholders, that is the executive, the legislature. I know we are not perfect, but we try our best, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there have been a challenge. You remember when we came to this government, there were a lot of stories when it comes to the issues of construction of some of the roads. This is one of the challenges that we've been having in this country, to an extent that it had become like a choke. But I want to confirm that a number of roads that were proposed are now under completion, Honorable Speaker, including the Talanta Stadium, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that we must thank the government for the steps that they have taken. And we have to be very keen also as a house, because this is a house of representation, say that the contractors who are on site should spend the monies prudently and give the correct services to the Kenyans. Bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, a number of roads have been done, and within a period of 1 year or 2 years, the same road is worn out, forcing this house again to budget for the same, Honorable Speaker. It's high time that us as a representative of the common mwananchi make sure that the contractors who are on site are able to deliver according to the specification, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to mothers' health, I want to thank the government for the efforts that they have put forward in terms of making sure that we have the health promoters that are moving within our villages to enlighten our people, to assist in terms of making sure that things are put straight. That is to a tune of 107,000 employees. Despite the shortcomings that maybe sometimes their stipends takes time, but I want to say they are doing a very commendable job back at home, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the expanded health coverage has covered around 24 million people. And I want to commend the government because this is for the first time, Honorable Speaker. We used to have the NHIF, which was marred with a lot of corruption issues, Honorable Speaker. But I want to thank God because of the new scheme, which is, though they have a lot of shortcomings, it is a good progress because there is a solution. And they are moving towards making sure that they perfect to make sure that the Kenyans who are still suffering while using the SHA can be able to access medication, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is an issue of job creation for our youth. I know within housing and a number of sectors, we've been able to see what the government has done. For example, with the TSC, you understand, Honorable Speaker, education is key. And it's the only equalizer that can bring the poor and the rich to the same table, Honorable Speaker. I must thank the government for taking lead in terms of employing the highest number of teachers to a tune of 76. And we expect more before even the end of the term. Honorable Speaker, sometimes you hear people singing during rallies with a slogan 2-term. It's not just the word of 2-term, Honorable Speaker. It is the word of 2-term based on the works that is being done in the ground. Honorable Speaker, we can attest a number of things. This is a hustler government. And this government, Honorable Speaker, played a big role in enlightening the hustler people and telling them of how they are going to improve their lives. I can attest, Honorable Speaker, today that the hustlers have been able to get wonderful markets. The government has constructed a number of markets where our women who have been selling along the road are happy because as we speak today, they have wonderful amenities where they can sell their produce, they can keep their produce, they can have all the amenities that they want, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say, despite the fact that a number of counties might not have gotten the opportunity to have, but I can attest, we've made a good stride on that, Honorable Speaker. Not only that, there was also the aspect of supporting the youth through the Nyota program, which I know a number of us saw it the other day when it was being rolled by the government. Assisting our youth with 50,000 shillings and enlightening them on how best they can do these businesses, Honorable Speaker. I want to say that we must commend the government and we must embrace and also continue supporting our youth in making sure that they are trained to be able to utilize the resources and be able to prosper, Honorable Speaker. Not only that, Honorable Speaker, a number of youths have been able to get access to job opportunities outside the country. The only challenge that we might be having sometimes is the process that is taking long. But I want to say that as we speak now, there is a great change. We have seen the fruits, and that is why we are speaking of 2 terms for this government to be able to actualize the manifesto that they had given to the citizens. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I want to say I commend the work done by His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto. I commend the broad-based government for the unity that they have given to this country, and we are hoping for the best in the near future. Otherwise, I beg to move. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, very well. Next is Senator Chalagai Samson Kiprotich.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. As I rise to...
Just a minute.
Okay.
Senator Tobiko Pelis, you are bordering on a very dangerous grounds. I'm the chair of this session. You know, seasoned senators know how to go about it. Actually, you are the third on the line, the third, Senator Ferris.
Can I proceed, Speaker?
Proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the same spirit, I want to congratulate Senator Crystal Lasige. Mr. Speaker, she is launching a single called Better this Friday. And it is going to be one of the inspirational album sings, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy, I listened to her at Energy Radio, and she wants a better for this country the way President William Ruto wants this country to move from third world to the first class. And we congratulate her in advance. I hope we can attend her launch of the single album called Better. It's one of the best songs that I've listened of recently. It is not allowed in standing orders. I would have belted 1 or 2 lines, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to congratulate the President. In as much as he is fulfilling his constitutional duty under Article 132 of the Constitution, this was one of the brilliant, pragmatic, and the real status of how the government is as of today. The government of 2022, when President William Ruto took over, many Kenyans were hopeless. The economy was going down, Mr. Speaker. Even devolution was almost collapsing. But thanks to the God-given leadership style of His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto, this country is rising like a phoenix, Mr. Speaker. And we are steadily moving from the third world to first world. Mr. Speaker, you listen to Prime Minister Malaysia Anwar urging the President to be tough. In as much as we are democratic, he must be tough so that transformation can happen in this country, Mr. Speaker. So in a nutshell, I want to say the President's speech, while it's like a dress called miniskirt, long enough to cover essentials, but long enough to cover essentials, but short enough to arouse curiosity and give hope to many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me go now to a few issues so that I can allow my colleagues to delve also. Mr. Speaker, one is on the issue of foreign direct investment. You know, we have been still told hawkwash, Mr. Speaker. You have the people are closed shop, companies are moving out of the country, but the facts as they are. And I want to ask media. I have seen media trying to fact check what the President said. It is embarrassing because the figures media are getting do not come even from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. They are getting their own facts from roadside agenda, Mr. Speaker. We want to ask the media to stop fact-checking. What the President presented is the true position. It is from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Mr. Speaker, you know we have been sold this story that companies are running out of the country. It is not true. In fact, you can see in 2021, there was for rain direct investment of 60 billion. In 2024, Mr. Speaker, it has risen to 195 billion. So that one shows that investors continue to have great and exceptional in confidence with the President Ruto's government, Mr. Speaker. That is why businesses are opening. That's why the country is opening up for business, Mr. Speaker. It is the prophets of doom, the naysayers, that the Bible condemns them. They are called Sanballat, Mr. Speaker. You remember the story of Nehemiah when he went to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. The Sanballats of then, who are here today, the disunited opposition, told Nehemiah in the Bible that even if an hyena or a dog stands on the wall, it collapses. The Sanballat of today did not want to listen to facts. And that is why they have gone to media to try and distort the facts, Mr. Speaker. So I want to continue to ask all foreign investors to do business in Kenya. Kenya is an oasis of peace in Eastern Central Africa. Kenya is strategic, Mr. Speaker. Kenya is warm. That is why our slogan is Hakuna Matata. That is why this is the country that has all the five, Mr. Speaker. The big five in this country. The famous world is we want tourism to grow, Mr. Speaker. And in that bread, I want to thank the President for transferring Amboseli and even Kajiado also for transferring both in Masai Mara and Amboseli to Kajiado and Narok respectively, Mr. Speaker. It is the belief and the faith that that heritage belongs to those people, Mr. Speaker. And I have heard the governor of Nairobi saying that he should also be collecting revenue from Nairobi National Park. But he has not even fixed the count. If he cannot collect the kiosk revenue, which capacity does he have to collect revenue from Nairobi National Park? He should first fix the county. When he has fixed the county, the Nairobi city, Mr. Speaker, there are potholes in this town. Even when you drive special utility vehicle, SUVs, when you go to those potholes, it is a bit less potholes, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, is on the issue of agriculture. I want to thank the President. I agree with my sister. We appreciate the subsidy program. What we want to appeal to our counties, and Mr. Speaker, this is where the disconnect is. As the President moves to ensure there is subsidy program of fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, let the counties do what we call last mile distribution of fertilizer, Mr. Speaker. For example, in Nandi, I have 4 or 5 depots of National Cereals and Produce Board. One in Celia, another one in Lesos, another one in Mosoriat, Mr. Speaker, and another one in Maraba Tindret, and a temporary one in Kobuja in Aldai, Mr. Speaker. But most of us are farmers. To get somebody to travel from Sangalo all the way to Celia to get fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, is safe, is very expensive. They would have used the same money to access. To get somebody to travel from Geche Kolonget all the way to Mosoria to get fertilizer is expensive. Or even from Chemamul, Mr. Speaker. The same to people, because we have Lesos one. To get somebody to travel from Moko Beach or all the way from Nandi Hills to come and access fertilizer in Lesos depot is very expensive. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the President for the subsidized fertilizer. That's why we had overwhelming. Mr. Speaker, and that is why you, in this coming year, because of assured food security, you will not see any person wearing safurias in the streets. Those safurias will be put for cooking food in our various homes. And I think, Mr. Speaker, how the country operates is when the population can get something to eat. I know there is a challenge in this country that there is what we call up and poor. You know, people have forgotten, Mr. Speaker, like in our slums, that they don't have 3 square meals, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the first time we are going to collect maize over 76 million bags, Mr. Speaker, in maize. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request the CS of Agriculture, a National and Cereals Produce Board, Mr. Speaker. Under the crops 2018, all cereals must be 50 kilos, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to us who are maize farmers, we are very sad, Mr. Speaker, because it is only maize among the cereal that is 90 kilos instead of 50 kilos, Mr. Speaker. Potatoes is 50, beans is 50, the macadamia is 50, the dengu is 50 kilos. Why, when it comes to maize, it is 90, Mr. Speaker? And I want to challenge National Cereals and Produce Board to follow the Crops Act of 2018 that demanded all cereals must be 90 kilos, Mr. Speaker. We hope NCPB and Ministry of Agriculture will issue a circular because we are harvesting, Mr. Speaker. This is harvesting season, and we don't want to experience what we call post-harvesting. On the issue of tea, we are still sad. I'm happy the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, when he came to Nandi, he assured the tea farmers that is going to sit with us, especially from the West Rift, from Bomet, Kericho, Kisii, Nyamira, Nandi, and Uasin Gishu, and even Bungoma, where tea is grown, even Trans Nzoia, Mr. Speaker, so that even Vihiga, so that we can sit and look at the low bonuses, Mr. Speaker, and poor tea pricing, Mr. Speaker. It is so sad. Mr. Speaker, you saw I brought a statement where they are still using tanks to test tea in Mombasa, Mr. Speaker. God forbid, if you are testing 10 glasses of tea sampling, and that person had passed the house of Nyasi, what do you call nyumba ya, allow me with nyumba ya Nyasi, maybe you have taken something somewhere that is other than tea or juice or water, Mr. Speaker. Will he still feel the same testing when they are sampling tea? No. So that is the issue of means we need to establish testing centers, especially in the West of Rift, and I have agreed with colleagues, parliamentarians, that we need to actualize. So on the issue of agriculture, Mr. Speaker, the President has done very well, even in sugar sector. For the first time, sugar farmers are going to get bonus, Mr. Speaker, just like tea farmers, which is very unique under President William Ruto's administration, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I don't want to in agriculture, the only problem we are facing now, Mr. Speaker, and I know it's also in Meru, because also we produce milk, you realize KCC has delayed paying farmers for the last 4 months. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the KCC management, new KCC, to ensure before we go to December, all farmers that are supplying milk, Mr. Speaker, that are supplying milks to KCC must and should be paid before. That is the best Christmas gift to our farmers going into the future, Mr. Speaker, because it's unfortunate. The fifth point, Mr. Speaker, I am happy that over 27 million Kenyans have registered under SHA. I want to repeat and encourage Kenyans and assure them that SHA is working. For us who work around our constituencies over the weekend, you meet testimony. I know when you go to Pastor Nganga's church, Mr. Speaker, in Neno Evangelism, there is what we call Ushuhuda time. The testimony has, because we are also like preachers, whenever we work, even in Meru and in Nandi and in Bomet, and even in Mombasa, and even in Kajiado, and even in Bungoma, is that SHA is working. That is why over 27 million Kenyans have registered, against 55 million, Mr. Kenya. And when I said here that young people should not fear to get married and get children because SHA is working, it's true. 10,000 for natural delivery, Mr. Speaker, 30,000 for CS operations, Mr. Speaker. SHA is even enhanced the critical care, Mr. Speaker, fund that will ensure when even you are traveling, even to India for medication, you are given up to $500,000, Mr. Speaker. That proves that SHA is working. Universal health coverage, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge my colleagues under Article 43. Access to health care is a human right, Mr. Speaker. And that is why the President is pushing for SHA to ensure the HC, UHC, universal health coverage is ensured, Mr. Speaker. And I want to continue to appeal and encourage the Ministry of Health and CS Duale to proceed and ensure each and every Kenyan has access to SHA services, Mr. Speaker. That is how we'll give value to each and every Kenyan. The sixth point, Mr. Speaker, was on the issue of teachers. There is no government since Jesus 2000 before Christ, Jesus lived. No government in Kenya has hired 76,000 teachers in one go. This is a miraculous government, Mr. Speaker. And before the new year for CBE, in grade 9, the government will add another 20,000. I want to encourage, Mr. Speaker, because I know your phone. You just showed me your phone a few minutes ago, that most of the JSS interns are texting us that confirm us to permanent and pensionable. We are aware they are earning 17,000, Mr. Speaker, which is not even enough, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm told even it is breaking their marriages, because as a JSS teacher, you cannot live with your wife in Nairobi. You leave them in Mulot, somewhere in Bomet, or you leave them in Mosoriat in Nandi, so that you can save a little, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge TAC, because we have given them money through budget. They must confirm the 20,000 junior secondary schools interns under permanent and pensionable, and ensure their salaries is commensurate under Salaries and Remuneration Commission. So I want to appeal to JSS, who are sending us a lot of messages, that we have heard you, the government is on it, they will be confirmed into permanent and pensionable. The ones who have 1 year extension will be. Mr. Speaker, I agree that 1 year contract is sufficient for any teacher to be transited. And I agree with even the youth, Mr. Speaker. The issue of internship, we have brought a motion. I want to thank the House that anybody who goes to internship, they should go for 12 months. After that, they must and should be absorbed into permanent and pensionable under Public Service Commission or under county government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on affordable housing, I want to encourage Kenyans. This is a reality, Mr. Speaker. Whenever I overfly Meru, whenever I overfly Bomet, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nandi, the issue of affordable housing program has changed the skyline of our cities and towns, Mr. Speaker. We need to move with that precision and ensure we assist the president. Mr. Speaker, I would want to ice the cake of the presidential address, Mr. Speaker, with the issue, Mr. Speaker, with the issue of infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, we are excited, and I expected my sister to touch on it, that on 28 this Friday, all of us, led by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, will be added to the launch of the dwelling of Rironi, Uplands, Mau Summit, Malaba Road, even via Kericho to Kisumu to Malaba, Mr. Speaker. This is momentous occasion. The western part of Kenya, I know you come from Murema, Mr. Speaker, but we have suffered, Mr. Speaker. If the President will ensure this dwelling of Uplands, Mau Summit, Eldoret, Malaba, Mr. Speaker, and I beg for only 2 minutes, Mr. Speaker, because I will get emotional, Mr. Speaker, just 2 minutes only. Mr. Speaker, this dwelling of Uplands, Mauroni, Malaba, if the President dwells this, Mr. Speaker, I can tell you, it will change our lives. There will be more weddings. There will be more business.
Now, Senator Chalage, you know you must be observant on the lights from green to yellow to red. So we cannot keep on adding more time. Maybe 30 seconds to say goodbye.
Mr. Speaker, and that is why I'm saying the opening of dwelling of Rironi, Mau Summit, Malaba will increase more weddings, more businesses, more interaction, Mr. Speaker, and even infrastructures in our counties. Even Nandi now, Mr. Speaker, there are many roads that have been earmarked for tarmac. Mr. Speaker, with the performance of the President, I can assure you, two-term will all be there for the His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, because he has a clear vision and agenda for this country, Mr. Speaker. With those many remarks, I beg to support the State of the Nation address by His Excellency, the President 2025, and two-term is now a reality.
You know, I want to follow this list religiously. I can see Senator Nyonka is not around. Next is Senator Pelis Tobiko.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in registering my appreciation to the President on the State of the Nation address, Mr. Speaker, to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I was in the House. I sat very close to the front to keenly listen to the President. I watched the body language, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to every single word that he said that day. Mr. Speaker, this is what I will say, that the President's vision for this country is very clear. His intention is good, Mr. Speaker, and so far, Mr. Speaker, he has managed to stabilize the country in a number of fronts, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the notable successes, Mr. Speaker, particularly is the stabilization of the Kenyan shilling, Mr. Speaker, and the control of inflation. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a notable success, you know, for this regime, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, across the country, in a number of places, you will see the housing program, the affordable housing coming up, and I believe this one will change lives, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is true that food production has improved because of the subsidized fertilizers, Mr. Speaker, and that has improved the food security in our country. Mr. Speaker, it's also true that SHA is registering improvement in the access to health services. This is a feedback we are getting from at the county levels whenever we visit different counties, Mr. Speaker, on our oversight role. They say it's better than NHIF, but it can be better. It can be better, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, there are terminal illnesses in this country that are bedeviling a number of people, cancer being one of the leading diseases today that are impoverishing Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the day we will be able to meet the costs of health without Kenyans going back into their pockets, without Kenyans doing the popular fundraisers, Mr. Speaker, is the day we will know we have finally achieved. Mr. Speaker, as we applaud the President for the success and for the good initiatives, Mr. Speaker, we must also give him truthful feedback from the ground, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are still doing fundraisers. And this one, Mr. Speaker, if we lie to the President, we will not be helping Kenyans, we will not be helping the head of state, Mr. Speaker, to improve what he has already initiated and is working, but must be improved, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, last weekend, we were doing a fundraiser for a lady, a wife of a chief in my area, who has now been taken to India for medication, Mr. Speaker, and this treatment out of the country is costing millions. And this is not one patient, it is several patients, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, even as we go the route of SHA, and it is better than NHIF, and it is already making strides, Mr. Speaker, we must insist that Kenyans should not bear the burden of health services, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is also notable that Kenya has been able to do better in debt servicing, Mr. Speaker, and restoration of fiscal discipline, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the head of state is taking this country in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, the recruitment of teachers, 76,000 teachers, Mr. Speaker, has improved the teacher-student ratio, Mr. Speaker. Our education sector is stabilizing, Mr. Speaker. And this one, Mr. Speaker, is a big achievement for this regime that is only less than 3 years old, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I listened to the President when he talked about my pet subject of infrastructure across the country, Mr. Speaker. The roads that the President had mentioned for the addition of for dualing, Mr. Speaker, were quite a number. Muthaiga, Kiambu, Ndumberi, Machakos Junction, Mariakani, all those. But let me localize the issue to Kajiado, Mr. Speaker, because I listened keenly that there was a dualing that will commence for at the river Namanga. Mr. Speaker, there was also the dualing of Bomas Karen Ngong, Bomas Ongata Rongai Kiserian, and Ngong Isinya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we can't wait for this to be done. I believe this will improve improve the movement of people and goods, particularly those Kenyans who work in Nairobi and go back to their residences in Kajiado, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is well noted. But, Mr. Speaker, it's also good to bring the feedback of what Kenyans noted with this speech, because they were listening together with us. They were in their homes keenly following, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of people in Kajiado have told me in the dueling of the river Namanga, there are quick wins that the president could initiate. Within that dueling, Mr. Speaker, what is becoming a major problem for the people of Kajiado on that road is the gridlock, the jam at Kitengela. And so, even before we do the entire dueling of the road to Namanga, Mr. Speaker, if bypasses, link roads are opened up in Kitengela so that there is no jam, then the movement will be smooth, will be faster, will save on time and costs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a feedback from the people of Kitengela. The people of Kitengela need bridges, Mr. Speaker, because of the population now, so that people can also comfortably go across the town on foot, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the dueling of Ngong Isinya, that includes the Kiserian Pipeline Road. Mr. Speaker, I was in functions in Kajiado West and Kajiado East this weekend. And Mr. Speaker, people were telling me the Kiserian Pipeline Road at the moment has no jam. In fact, what will assist the people of Kajiado more is an opening up, tarmacking of, link roads to that road, Mr. Speaker. There is the corner Baridi, Inkiito to Kajiado Road. That if that one was tarmacked, will be more fruitful for the people of Kajiado. Mr. Speaker, if the Tuala Kitengela Road is completed because it was started, the tarmacking of that road, Mr. Speaker, can create a very good bypass for the Nairobians, for the people of Tuala, Rongai, to Kiseria and to Kitengela, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, along the same road of Kiserian, oh no, that cannot be. Along that road, Mr. Speaker, if they open up Birika and City, and on the other side, if they open up and tarmac Isinya Konza, Mr. Speaker, the people of Kajiado will be fruitful. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the light has already gone yellow, because I have not used time. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado is part of the metropolitan area. Mr. Speaker,
we have 4.5 minutes.
All right, Mr.
Don't panic. Proceed.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, for the metropolitan transport system to be complete, Kajiado must be part of that infrastructural development, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Kiambu, Nairobi, Machakos, Moranga have already received very good in structural development, bypasses, Mr. Speaker, very good roads, Mr. Speaker, but the people of Kajiado are still watching Nairobi from a very near distance, but it looks very far because we have no roads. Mr. Speaker, I want to give you an example of a road that I have mentioned in this house, and I will continue mentioning. A road that has been done from Mombasa Road, Stoniathi, just to, it looks like it was targeting to assist one facility, and after that, it is stopped. If only this road crossed the railway line to the schools in Kajiado, Naserian, Irpolosat, Mr. Speaker, or Naserian and KCA, KAG University, Mr. Speaker, the area will be opened up, Mr. Speaker. And a lot of you are starting homes in that area, Mr. Speaker. And they say there is no development, Mr. Speaker. These Kenyans who are moving from Nairobi to Kajiado, they need transport, they need roads, Mr. Speaker. They need to access Nairobi on a daily basis, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, let me say the President did very well in addressing some of the historical injustices. It might not have been mentioned in the speech, but the people of Kajiado acknowledge the transfer of Amboseli to Kajiado County. Mr. Speaker, in the same breath, I am telling the President there is a section called Oloirien, 74,000 acres, which was meant to be a wildlife corridor that has been a case in court, Mr. Speaker, between KWS and the community, Mr. Speaker. This needs to be part of the Amboseli dispersal area and needs to be recovered quickly, Mr. Speaker, reinstated to Kajiado County and to the Amboseli, ecosystem, Mr. Speaker. The sheep and goat, Mr. Speaker, and Pakasi Ranch needs to be brought back to the community because, Mr. Speaker, it is Kajiado that is the dispersal area for the wildlife in Nairobi National Park, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we need community lands to be addressed. We need justice for the people of Shompole in Magadi, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of their land, Mr. Speaker. Kibiko and Vet Farm, Mr. Speaker, in Ngong, should not be shared in boardrooms in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. The community needs to be the ones to distribute the land or to occupy the land, Mr. Speaker, so that we feel our lands have come back to the community, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issues of irrigation, the Ololo-Itikoshi Dam, which the designs had been done and completed, needs now to be, fast-tracked so that the Kitengela people, Isinya, can also, get enough water. Because, Mr. Speaker, we've been getting water from Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, on the issues of livestock products and value addition, Mr. Speaker, we are the people who have lots of hides and skins. And for production of handbags, shoes, leather shoes, Mr. Speaker, we could definitely be part of the net exporters in this country if we harvest this resource, Mr. Speaker. And milk production, Mr. Speaker, it's not possible for us to bring our milk to Nairobi without roads, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want
next is Senator Abbas Sheikh Mohammed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to also join my colleagues to contribute to the Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya's Nation Address. Honorable Speaker, honestly, the address was giving Kenyans a big dream. It gave Kenyans hopes that the President was really dreaming big. And I think that kind of daring and that kind of, focus is actually where we can be able to reach far. He had no fears. That he had a dream that Kenya will soon join the first world. And the President said that it is possible and it can be done. And I also believe that it can be done. Honorable Speaker, the focus he gave was that by the time for the last 3 years, I think we were able to stabilize our economy. The dollar reserve has grown up. The dollar has come down from 167 or 68, somewhere there, to 129. Which are shillings. I think that is actually, and it's established there for a long time now. It has not changed. Honorable Speaker, the GDP increased from 115 to 136,000. And I think that's a big increase. And inflation dropped from 9.6 to 4.6. And I think it's still controlled. And the country now is trying to stabilize economically. And I believe that is actually where we're supposed to head to. Because in the past, everybody was worried about the pricing of food, about the economy. The dollar was so high. I think it's only the exporters who were enjoying more. The Kenyans were having challenges even to buy vehicles and anything, the essential drugs and everything. Honorable Speaker, a country that cannot feed itself cannot claim to be independent. But the country, what the president has done, is also to look into the agriculture sector. Food production has increased. The staple food is maize. Maize increased from 44 million bags from 2022 to 66 million in 2024. And currently it's expected that we will be harvesting 70 million bags of maize that will be able to take care of the Kenyans' need. And therefore, we will be able to minimize the kind of, exporting food and these things. Honorable Speaker, the youth program, we have so many unemployed youth. And, we are also expanding our education system. We are expanding our universities, and more students are transiting from the secondary schools, from high schools to universities as a result of the CBC. And you expect a big number of students going to school, going to universities. And I must say that the universities are now expanded, despite the challenges the teachers have, the lecturers have, in terms of payment. And I think that one can be done at least. The universities themselves must come up with an idea or a system that they can be able to sustain the universities. They must come with, a kind of an economic issues where they can improve. Some of them, like, Edison University, like even lower universities, these people have vast land of which have actually remained unutilized. Edison University was well known for its food production and milk. But of course, I think the universities are now so much dependent on the government. And therefore, the university to stabilize itself and be able to pay the teachers and the students' welfare, they must think now economically that people could be able to produce their own wealth and own food so that they can be able to subsidize the government grants. Honorable Speaker, in agriculture, I think the government have done well, especially in the supply of fertilizers. But of course, we now have the Kengen program, where they are going to have our own fertilizers that can be produced somewhere in Nakuru. And I think you guys now that's supposed to for you, that's the way to go, because I think we're spending a lot of money in buying fertilizer from outside. And then credit to farmers also is very important. I think there's a plan for giving farmers subsidies so that at least they can produce more food, especially the tea and maize, which is actually a very essential crop that we cannot be able to live without it. Honorable Speaker, on the health sector, I must say SHA is working from my experience. I know there's a lot of politics in SHA, but of course in any program that is starting has its own teething problems. And it's actually the high time that we must give the government time to stabilize, to be able to improve on the SHA services. And of course you're hearing there's a lot of, corruption going on, especially the service providers. Everybody is now rushing to open a hospital, even those who are not qualified to open a hospital. And I think what is happening currently is actually to stabilize the issues, to see that these people who are operating VEC hospitals and health centers will be dealt with according to the way things are now moving. Everything's been now taken to, what do you call it? They are being registered, and I think this business of selling and making big claims will soon die. One other sector is actually, which is doing very well now, and I think the government has done very well, and this was in the speech of the president, is the education sector. Honorable Speaker, one thing I want to commend His Excellency the President. We used to experience in northern Kenya, actually big challenges. Shortage of teachers all over. We've been crying for the last 10 years. But now that I can tell you, today, in every county of northern Kenya, there's a teachers college. And so many students are now coming out. And very soon, northern Kenya will produce surplus teachers that they can be able to teach other parts of the country. There will be no more teachers college in northern Kenya. And I think that I must say, and I applaud the president for the support he has given, so that the northern Kenya people do not have shortage of teachers. Honorable Speaker, I also know every county now has TVETs, these technical colleges. There have been 718,000 students that are now in those colleges. And I think by the time those students will be leaving, we'll be having a technical-oriented country where students can be self-employed, where we can go now, because the country is supposed to go to technology, improve technology. The country now is going to develop, and in 2030, we must be able to do our own things, where with the help of these education systems, then we can be able to produce more of technical-oriented students. Honorable Speaker, one other thing is that the infrastructure has been improved. The students are now becoming many. Most of the students are now exiting to high schools and junior secondary schools, and the government has taken a very serious an improved system where the infrastructure is now being improved. And I think many classrooms are coming more and more are coming up, and by soon we will be having enough infrastructure in the schools where our students can be able to enjoy learning places. Honorable, so one other thing is that teachers are employed. I think from 2 years ago, from 76,000, they have employed 76,000, government employs 76,000, and this year they are planning to employ 24,000. This makes 100,000 teachers. And I think that's a big number to be able to reduce the teaching fraternity, the gaps that we experience in teaching within the number of our teachers. Honorable Speaker, one other thing is the government has done, and I must applaud the president. There was a little bit move to increase the budget of education from 409 billion to 700 billion this year. And I think it's a great improvement. We must applaud the government for that. Honorable Speaker, I think mine will not be very many things. One other thing is the housing sector. Actually, one thing I think most of the people never believed, the low-cost houses will be able to move fast, will be able to at least help Kenyans. But one thing I can assure you, the way things are moving, even my own home, where maybe nobody was thinking about low-cost housing, I already have about 200 units that are under construction. They're about to be completed in my county. And we were wondering what we're going to do with those houses, because people live in, in the small houses. They use the small dingiras, they use the local horios. But of course, this actually has even improved the towns, the way it looks like. The town now is becoming like, high-rise buildings are coming up, and it's a kind of beautification for the towns that have experienced the construction of, low-cost houses. Honorable Speaker, it is my hope that many Kenyans will be able to be accommodated in these low-cost houses, and it's possible that we have seen the Excellency President has actually made a deliberate move to at least give housing to every county, so at least Kenyans can also have an equal opportunity to own houses in future. Honorable Speaker, one other thing which was actually commendable is actually improving and dwelling of roads. It is like a big dream, actually. I was asking myself, in 10 years, can you be able to do 27,000 kilometers dwelling? But of course, the President said it is possible. And of course, it is possible. Honorable Speaker, for my area, of course, much has not been said, but I must commend the government
and His Excellency the President for taking a deliberate move to be able to give us to tarmac 750 kilometers from Isiolo to Mandera. This is actually a wonderful move, and I must say thank you to the President for the bold step he has taken. And I will wish to say that the construction of that road is going slow. Hopefully, those concerned and His Excellency the President will hear me to say that this road must be completed as agreed, and we look forward that the road from Isiolo to Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, all this will be opened up, and that road, it's actually the Horn of Africa road, that will open this country's economy for Ethiopia, Somalia, and Djibouti, and all this, the northern part of the country. And I think this is a very important infrastructure development, and I want to applaud His Excellency the President for that initiative, the bold initiative actually. Many people have feared to do it. Many felt that Northern Kenya does not deserve any road because they say this actually it's not economical, but I must tell you that it is economical. The economy will increase, will open up more frontiers for more business and the other development issues. Honourable Speaker, finally, I want to urge all Kenyans. Kenya is ours, and Kenya is for each of us and everybody. Politics will never help us. We don't eat politics. This country, nobody is perfect in this world. All of us, politicians, we are not perfect. Even those of us who have been elected from the counties, we have our shortcomings. And you don't expect the President to do everything in 3 years. For those who are making noise every day, those who are politicking, I think we need to think about, we must think like Kenyans and not think like individuals. We must not blame anybody. We must say, what can we do at our own levels? Honorable Speaker, this country, there's a lot of politicking, there's too much politicking, and this will not help the country. And therefore, I wish to appeal to the politicians that let's give the President time to do the work, and let's judge him maybe in the coming 5 or 10 years, whatever is going to be taken. But I believe the President deserves 2 terms. I will say 2 terms for the President, and for those who don't like it, you can say all of it, whatever you want to do. But I think this country must have time to heal. The country must move forward.
Senator Omogen, what's your point of order?
I've been listening and followed very keenly the contributions of Senator Abbas, my good friend, and he has done very well. But is it not, Mr. Speaker, to make a pronouncement on this house saying that the President is in office for 10 years and those who don't want it can do whatever they want? Our Constitution, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure Abbas knows it, gives the President a mandate of 5 years, after which he will go back to the people to seek a new contract. So it's not a matter of telling Kenyans they can do what they want. What he should be telling us is that the President will have a scorecard that can enable him compete with others and get a second term. We never gave him 10 years. We gave him 5 years, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas, could you just clarify and align your comments?
Honorable Speaker, what I'm not saying Kenyans must do what they want to do, but I'm saying as Kenyans we must stand together. And I'm saying, this is my own opinion now, that we must give the President time at least to finish all this development that he has planned for. That's what I say, Mr. Speaker. So it's my own opinion that the President must be given time to.
Senator Abbas, your time is up, but take note of the comments which actually were raised as a point of order. Fortunately, you have clarified that it is not you, it's your opinion you're entitled to anyway, but the mandate rests with the Kenyans to decide who to take back into office comes the next cycle of elections. And as it said, it will speak for itself depending on how Kenya views those who will be competing at that time. I will allow Senator Okongo Mogeni to contribute to the speech.
For also giving me an opportunity to make my comments and observation on the President's speech that was delivered to Parliament last week on 20th of November. Mr. Speaker, first I want to thank the President for the courage he took to address the House and the country at large and to also express his ambition of wanting to see this country transformed to a first world. That's a good ambition. That's a good passionate plea to Kenyans to transform our country from third world to first world. And Mr. Speaker, nobody wants to continue living in a third world. We all want to progress this country into a first world country. But Mr. Speaker, we are all not members of the choir. We make observations. We applaud the president where we must, but we also must, using this floor as representatives of the people, to tell the president where he's not gotten it right, Mr. Speaker. And we also must remind him that there are things we must do if as a country we want to progress to be a first world. I was taught in biology many years ago that human beings, I don't know whether it's called medulla oblongata, our brain thinks differently. There is no way the 67 of us can think the same way and have the same viewpoint as the president. So I have a few issues to observe on the president, the speech that was made by the president. The first one, Mr. Speaker, is that when you are a president serving your first term, what will for sure guarantee you a second term is your performance, the scorecard, how Kenyans will judge your performance as a president. So those who drafted the Kenyan Constitution were very, very clear that a president will be given 5 years. If he's able to perform to the expectations of Kenyans, then he will get another 5 years. If he doesn't, he will do one term, and will not be the first country in the world to see a president doing one term. It's happening, even in Africa. I think just a few months ago, we saw it in Malawi. Just the other day, I remember in Zambia, 2021, there was a one-term president. I saw it in Liberia. The other day, we saw a president in South Africa being recalled. So it's not a crime if Kenyans were to make a decision on the ballot in 2027 and say that they are not happy with Ruto's performance and make him a one-term president. Mr. Speaker, there is no way, and I'm saying this without any fear of contradiction, there is no way we are going to be a first world country unless we fix a few governance issues, Mr. Speaker. And that is the road that many of the countries that have transformed to first world, that's the road they have followed. The first one, Mr. Speaker, is that we must fix our governance. We must fix issues dealing with corruption, stealing of public resources going into people's pockets, Mr. Speaker. That is the route that Singapore followed, Mr. Speaker. But in this country, Mr. Speaker, we have seen people who join the cabinet, they transform to overnight millionaires, but you will never see any action from our anti-corruption bodies, Mr. Speaker. The first thing you do, even if you go to Rwanda, Mr. Speaker, the first action that Kagame took to ensure that the governance works in Rwanda was to fix issues of corruption. And you fight corruption from the top officials of government, because that's where money is stolen. If we don't fix that, we'll never get anywhere. Roads in UK, Mr. Speaker, are developed from the fines that are generated from the traffic offenders. But if we are not making any steps to create cameras on our roads so that if I'm overspeeding, if I'm stopped by a police officer, that money should go to the state. But instead, if you commit an offense on our roads here, that money ends up in people's pockets. There is a rumor, I don't know whether it's true, there is a rumor that there is a chain. That money comes all the way and goes to people in high government offices. So if the president is serious, Mr. Speaker, corruption should have been a central theme in his speech. Corruption should have been a central theme, Mr. Speaker. And the best way to hit corruption is by going after those who are perceived to be very close to you, Mr. Speaker. You don't look for your perceived critics. You go after those who are perceived to be very close to you, because those are the ones who use the name of the president because they are perceived to be close to siphon public resources, Mr. Speaker.
If we go that route, then we can have hope that we transform and become a first world. And then we should not lie to the public, Mr. Speaker. I come from a tea growing region. If our export earnings are rose, the way it was said, from 138 billion to 215 billion, where did those earnings go? Where did the earnings go, Mr. Speaker? Because the payment of bonus to our farmers declined drastically. The curve was sharp, a sharp decline in earnings. In Nyamira, the average earning of a tea farmer was between 10 shillings to 12 shillings. Then the question we should be asking, if the export earnings went up, who stole our money? That's what we need to be told. And there is no way, Mr. Speaker, you are going to transform this country to be first world when our farmers are earning peanuts, Mr. Speaker. Because you need to, for you to be a first world country, your per capita income should be $13,000 and above. Our farmers are not yet there. Look at the unemployment rates, our youths, Mr. Speaker. I was in Nyamira over the weekend. We have 3 by-elections, Mr. Speaker. And I've seen people, some representing the government side, coming to bribe voters openly, Mr. Speaker. Tell me any first world country where in by-elections you see government money being distributed freely, and where an anti-corruption agency that is supposed to prevent bribery does nothing, Mr. Speaker. How will we transform this country to first world if we cannot have responsibility, if we cannot have good governance as political leaders ourselves, Mr. Speaker? It cannot work, Mr. Speaker. Tell me a country that has gone to first world status, yet they can't even fix the potholes, Mr. Speaker. I was driving from Kemera through a national government school, Nyambaria, Mr. Speaker, full of potholes. So before we do these super highways, why can't we even fix our potholes, Mr. Speaker? I went to buy something in Gekomba. Look at the state of our roads, Mr. Speaker. So before we say we are doing these highways, we pay taxes through the fuel levy for road maintenance. Why can't this money be used to maintain our roads, Mr. Speaker? I remember when Kibaki took over in 2002, the first thing he did was to fix gullies, potholes that had become gullies on our roads, Mr. Speaker. Do we want to deteriorate to that level again as a country, Mr. Speaker? I like the promise by the president because I suffer every weekend because I'm not a guy who owns a chopper to fly to Nyamira. I use the road Nairobi, Maimayu to Narok, Kisii. I'm happy and I welcome the decision to do all that road. It will solve traffic jams on that road. At times we spend up to 4 hours. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, whether you also drive or you fly. Maybe you fly to Bomet, but some of us who drive, oftentimes we get stuck for more than 4 hours on the Maimayu. So it's a good dream to ensure that, to make a proposal to do all that. And I hope that can be done sooner than later, so that that problem is solved for many of us. But also, Mr. Speaker, when we build roads, let us maintain them, Mr. Speaker. Let us maintain the roads. You cannot be a first world with the kind of garbage that we see in our city. It cannot, Mr. Speaker. Even me, where I live, I've not seen county government service on garbage collection. I have not seen, Mr. Speaker. That does not require a president to make a speech. That we should fix. So we should be telling Kenyans, this is what we have fixed, Mr. Speaker. And then we manage our debt. Because if we collect all our resources and we use it for debt payment, how will we progress? I'm not an economist, but how does that maths work, Mr. Speaker? If you collect, instead of developing your country, you are using it to pay debts. It can never work, Mr. Speaker. So we also need to be disciplined. What we should be hearing from the president, Mr. Speaker, is some reform on spending. The budget for our offices, like State House, grew from 5 billion now to 10 billion, Mr. Speaker.
We should see discipline in spending. I heard somebody say that SHA is working. May God Almighty forgive us. People are suffering. This SHA thing is not working. I can bring a carton box of invoices from hospitals where people get a bill of 215, SHA pays 38,000. How can you say that SHA is working? Whereas for me, you and everybody here who have a medical cover, when you go to hospital, you spend nothing. But we want to shut our eyes to the poor people who are suffering out there. And we come to this house and say, SHA is not working. SHA is not working. I'm willing to take the senators from here to my village and we speak to people and they tell you the horrendous stories of SHA. Our mission hospitals that have been serving a large populace are not being paid by SHA. They are at the brink of closing, Mr. Speaker. And yet our public hospitals don't have the bed capacity, they don't have the ICUs to attend to our patients. They don't even have the specialists. People go to this hospital, Tenwek, for treatment. I know it. I've seen many people from Nyamira being attended to at Tenwek, Mr. Speaker. So before we even make our healthcare to be qualitative, how can we be saying we are moving the country to first world, Mr. Speaker? Affordable housing. We compare Kenya with Singapore. Before Singapore went to affordable housing or social housing, they ensured that the populace was able to purchase those houses, Mr. Speaker. Because you are building houses for the people at the low level of income. I've gone to Nyamira, not even one single farmer has bought these houses, the so-called affordable houses. They can't afford. So we are living in the ozone layer. We don't live on earth here. These houses cannot be bought by the intended populace, Mr. Speaker. In fact, it's more of a business. How will Kenyans, 80% of them, own houses, yet even putting food on the table is a problem? Affording school fees remains a problem. Accessing advanced health care remains a mirage for many Kenyans. So let's be serious, Mr. Speaker, as a country. And I want to challenge those in leadership to fix the problems we are facing now, not tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, I had my good friend Senator Abbas saying that we should not make noise, we should wait for SHA to be fixed in due course. But what about those who are dying? What do we do, Mr. Speaker? We are doing a rumbus every day, Mr. Speaker. This thing needs to be fixed. Are you aware, Mr. Speaker, that people out there who are not on monthly salary are being told to pay SHA 1 year in advance? 1 year in advance. Yet us salaried people, we pay monthly. Why discriminate, Mr. Speaker? And yet Article 37 clearly states that we should not discriminate anybody based on economic or social status, Mr. Speaker. So we really must be candid to the President and tell him, you have a good vision, Mr. President, but please, there are serious challenges that Kenyans are facing that needs to be fixed now. You need to remove Kenyans from the poverty they are facing. You need to help our farmers so that they can get income that can make farming to be an occupation that makes somebody feel like they are doing something that meets their daily needs. Currently, it doesn't. The farmers who took loans are not able to service their loans because the earnings dropped more than 100%, Mr. Speaker. So I conclude by saying, well, Mr. President, is good to want to take us to first world status, but please, first of all, fix the problems that we are facing today. Let us have your scorecard today, not about 10 years. Because if you talk about 10 years, then
your time is up, Senator Kongo Mogeni. Thank you for your contribution. Just to respond to your inquiry, yours truly uses Nairobi Narok, Bomet Road as you. Every other time I go and serve the people of Bomet who gave me the opportunity to be in this house. And it is coming. For now, I'm using that road that you're using, and it's a welcome opportunity to have the road dual that will serve us as Kenyans as well. Senator Danson Mungatana. Senator, all right, what do you want to clarify, Senator Crystal?
Speaker, thank you very much. My point of clarification is just on the course of debate. Speaker, since the majority leader moved this motion, I have noted that those who have contributed have primarily come from the majority side, and only one of us on the minority have been able to speak so far. The first person to contribute was Senator Joyce Korir, followed by Senator Cherargei, followed by Senator Tobiko, and then it was followed by Senator Abbas. And then it swung over to the minority side, but then it's going back to majority again. So I'm wondering, Chair, is it your eye that's not being thrown over on our side?
Senator Crystal, take your seat. The person who seconded this motion is Senator Eddy. That time I was still on the chair, but nonetheless, the chair has since, of course, noted your concern. I had, that's noted. Senator Crystal, you are the next to speak. From my dashboard, it's Senator Mungatana, then I cross over to Senator Crystal Asige. As to whether the previous chair had not been alternating the people speaking to the motion, I have taken note of your concern, and since I had already asked Senator Mungatana to take the floor, allow him to respond, then you will be next.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words about the President's speech. Unfortunately, I had to watch it from afar because we are in the by-elections. Mr. Speaker, I'm also glad to say that it's the first time I'm taking the floor as a qualified doctor, PhD. So I thank everybody who has congratulated me from this house. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to repeat what my very dear colleagues have already said concerning this President's speech. But Mr. Speaker, I wanted to say something about the infrastructure fund that the President has created and about the sovereign fund that the President has created. Mr. Speaker, these are tremendous things that are going to happen in this country. And they are going on without people noticing. You know, Kenyans are not seeing what is happening. Mr. Speaker, we are actually laying the foundations towards being one of the wealthiest countries in this continent, one of the most stable, economically stable countries in this continent, one of the most reliable areas of investment in this continent. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, Norway is one of the world's richest nations. In fact, if I'm not wrong, it is in fact one of the very rich nations in this world. And what happened to Norway? Norway discovered some oil many years ago. And BP, Shell BP as usual, from Britain, they ran to that country and told them, let's sign these contracts, let's do this, it's business as usual. Norway told them, no, just a moment. And they studied those contracts, and they decided that those offshore oil reserves that they have discovered
will be a wealth for the Norwegians who are living there, for the Norwegians who are going to live in future. And they created a fund, and this has now become the biggest sovereign fund in the whole world. The sovereign fund of Norway is $1.5 trillion, Mr. Speaker. $1 trillion. In fact, China follows it with just about $1+ trillion. But Norway, that small little country, took a decision that we are going to create a fund that is going to benefit the current generation and the next generation. Mr. Speaker, the President talked in his speech about the constitutional responsibility that is put on us in this generation. Article 201, Mr. Speaker, says that the burdens and benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably between present and future generations. Mr. Speaker, this is the first president who is trying to make this a constitutional reality, who is trying to say, we are going to be rich now, but we are also going to plan for the future generations. Mr. Speaker, the same president went on to make an apology for what happened in the coast. Titanium was found there, Mr. Speaker. People came and they exploited that titanium. People came and literally robbed the people of Kwale County. They took away that titanium, Mr. Speaker. What you see now are holes that remain. People will tell you there used to be a very big company there mining titanium. Billions of dollars were made from that profit. But when you look at the people there, nothing really has changed. Mr. Speaker, that wealth did not belong to the current generation alone. That wealth belonged to the people who will come, to their children and their children's children. But those people who are living in Kwale now do not even have the benefit. And of course the children are left with gaping holes. Mr. Speaker, even in Tana River County, you see huge holes of gypsum mining that has gone on there. Millions have been made. But the current generation and the future generation of the people of Tana River has not benefited from the mining of gypsum. So, Mr. Speaker, I come back and say, we need this sovereign fund like yesterday. We need this sovereign fund like yesterday. We need the National Infrastructure Fund like yesterday. And I fully support the President. Why? I sit in Pan-African Parliament, as you know, Mr. Speaker. And when we are there, we were discussing countries that are supposed to be strong economies. And you know, one of the things they do is to look at how a country is credit worth. And who measures those credits for a country, the credit worthiness of a country? It is the credit rating agencies. So you have Standard and Poor's that comes to measure the credit worthiness of your nation. And you know, Mr. Speaker, the credit worthiness of a nation will be determined, amongst other things, whether that country has a sovereign fund, Mr. Speaker. When you have a sovereign fund, it means that if there are global shocks, like the dollar collapsing, like oil prices plummeting or going up, you have a fund that, Mr. Speaker, you can stabilize the economy of that country. And when Standard & Poor's comes and looks and sees you have a sovereign fund, a strong one, Mr. Speaker, then your nation is rated higher than the others. I know Mr. President has said that our rating has increased. We moved with this year from 8th strongest economy to the 6th strongest economy, and our credit rating was moved from B to B+. That is true. But Mr. Speaker, if we had the sovereign fund operationalized by today, we would have had a bigger, much bigger credit rating. And Mr. Speaker, this is the thing that Kenyans are not hearing enough. This President Ruto is not joking. People go there in the streets and they call him names, they say whatever, but they don't know the kind of thinking that we are putting into this nation under this president. This president is supported by myself and by my county, Mr. Speaker, and I'm speaking with authority, because even that by-election I'm coming from now, Mr. Speaker, we are going to bring it with more than 60%, because the people believe in what is happening with this president. This president, people, some people, because we have been in parliament with him, we have used to sit somewhere there when we were there in those years. He used to be in opposition, so we have seen him grow. So some people think, oh, this is just another guy. But he has some good plans. And these plans are not just for this generation, Mr. Speaker. They are intergenerational. If anything good has happened in this country, Mr. Speaker, it is the establishment of this National Infrastructure Fund and the Sovereign Fund. Mr. Speaker, you look at countries like the UAE, the Mubadala Fund. That fund, Mr. Speaker, that sovereign wealth of the people of the Emirates is the one that invests all over the world. All over the world. And it is creating more wealth for that nation, because they don't just invest. They take time to think. And it's not government run, it's privately owned, Mr. Speaker. And they take time to think. They invest in the stock exchange, in various stock exchanges in the world. They get returns. They put money in private equity funds. They get returns. The country continues to earn money and becomes wealthier and wealthier. And this is what we are expecting our sovereign fund to do. Mr. Speaker, the infrastructure fund, this infrastructure fund and this sovereign fund, I think it's a brilliant idea. And many people may have missed it, but our nation is setting up the foundation under this president for a very strong, fiscally stable nation that will go into the future. Mr. Speaker, the only thing I'm begging His Excellency the President to do, let us have this law discussed thoroughly. Because, Mr. Speaker, if they are mismanaged, there's a country here in Africa where the president appointed his son to be the head of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, his daughter to be, I don't know, the CEO in that. And then, Mr. Speaker, when the president was removed after the elections, his children were being jailed. Why? Because the thing was not managed properly. We want professionals. We want a strong law. We want it to be independent, Mr. Speaker, so that the actual purpose of the sovereign fund is actually realized. And Mr. Speaker, another thing, we want counties like Tana River County to benefit from this. Why? Because infrastructure in our area is still underdeveloped. And yet, Mr. Speaker, there are huge potentials to develop. Mr. Speaker, the sovereign wealth could be one of the saving graces. If money can be collected from the resources across the country and invested in some of our counties, then, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about a nation that is going to grow equitably. And, Mr. Speaker, we also want to see proper management of these funds. There should be very tough penalties against misuse, misappropriation of this fund, because it is the wealth of all Kenyans that is being put in one place, extracted from our minerals, extracted from the sale and proceeds of privatization, so that we don't have the titanium experiment repeated. Mr. Speaker, we need very strong laws so that anybody who is going to go there, will be punished thoroughly if money is lost under their care. We also want it to be delinked from government. We don't want the sovereign fund to be headed by people who are connected to treasury or to the president or to the cabinet ministers or whatever. We want the laws to give us technical people, people who will be able to stand. We want security of tenure for the holders of offices in that. We want this law, Mr. Speaker, like yesterday. I have seen the president has talked about it, but I have not seen the actual draft. I have not seen the writings of that law. We want to see even the policy first discussed in Parliament. It should not be something that just comes, because this is a fundamental thing that is happening for our nation. And my prayer is that Kenyans who are listening to me can see for themselves where we are going. We are going forward. If this nation gets this one right, Mr. Speaker, we will not have to be going to the World Bank. We will not have to be going to the IMF. We will not have to be going to the African Development Bank or Exim Bank to get loans for infrastructure. This is what is going to help us go forward. And I hope Kenyans are seeing and listening to me when I tell them that time has come to us now, when we are trying to elect the next leadership, Mr. Speaker. Let us think about what we are planning here and going future. There are some people who absolutely have no agenda. It's just hatred and pure nothingness, you know, saying, let us defeat this guy. Have they actually seen these issues that we are putting before them? Mr. Speaker, I urge even the people who are in opposition, those who think that we are doing nothing, please, when you stand up, tell us what you think also about the sovereign fund, the National Infrastructure Fund. What do you think of these ideas? And what is your alternative? Instead of standing on top of cars and hurling abuses. It's time that we do intelligent politics. Mr. Speaker, I'm very disappointed by some people who I think should be knowing better, but they do horrible statements and no policy.
Senator Mugatana, your time is up. Thank you for your contribution. And now I call upon Senator Crystal Asige to give Senator Crystal the microphone. Thank you, Senator. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, as we consider the third State of the Nation address by the President last week, it's necessary that we examine not only the ambitions set before us, but also to own up to the structural gaps and inaccuracies that will certainly impede equitable progress in our country. My thoughts after listening to the address are ones of careful consideration, Speaker, but also mixed with serious concern. I acknowledge, of course, the ambition reflected in the government's plan for energy expansion, for infrastructure growth, youth development programs, and digital transformation. And I also recognize the intention to move the country forward and create a new story for Kenyans to tell. However, Speaker, there are two sides to every story, maybe even three, which we have the responsibility as legislators to analyze critically, and in the words of the President himself in the speech, who in this address said, "It is a story that we will see in the numbers," he said, "feel in the homes," he said, "and trace in the lives transformed across the Republic." Mr. Speaker, in the constellation of promises made in this address, I heard construction of 50 dams, mega dams in the country, construction of 2,500 dual carriageways across the country, 28,000 kilometers of roads across the country, 10,000 megawatts of power, he said. He also mentioned about 2.5 million acres of irrigation across the country. But Speaker, all that with a whopping budget of 5 trillion shillings in less than 2 years, because as we all know, in 2 years' time, his mandate ends. Also, Speaker, the State of the Nation address, like the two previous addresses before it, falls short of providing clear, enforceable commitments to the inclusion of persons with disabilities and women, whose rights are not optional but constitutionally protected under Articles 10, 27, 43, and also 54. Those are not mentioned, Mr. Speaker. I was curious about that. It was also silent on the roadmap towards equitable allocation of resources for PWDs, social protection of the elderly, and also reporting back to Kenyans of speedily enacted laws, including the ones which just passed, Social Protection Act, the Cyber Crimes Amendment Act, that was also fast-tracked. The National Lands Commission Amendment Act, also just passed, or the Wildlife Conservation Management Amendment Act, also passed very quickly. In fact, Speaker, Kenyans were waiting to hear the reason for the construction of hotels and camps on riparian lands in the Masai Mara, which interfere with wildlife corridors and which will, in the future, Mr. Speaker, have a windfall of astonishing proportions if not addressed. But they were not addressed in this address. Curiously as well, and of great concern for over half of our population, which are women of Kenya, after lending a significant portion of his last address just a year ago to calling out the astronomical rise of gender-based violence in this country. After doing all that, and even gazetting a technical working group headed by Madam Baraza to investigate these cases, Mr. Speaker, the President radio silenced on this topic. No report to the women about what the administration has done to protect the rights and lives of the women. He issued dozens of promises in his manifesto just a few years ago. And that is a slap in the face to all women everywhere. I also found that the tone was used to almost bash the ordinary Kenyan for wanting simple and basic, but very crucially important aspirations to be addressed, to be incredibly distasteful, Speaker. Phrases like average thinking and ordinary ideas were littered all over this address. I don't know why. As if to dismiss the average Kenyan and their communal desires for simple things: running water, stable electricity, assured food and shelter, functioning healthcare, an end to corruption, inclusive education. Not everyone, Mr. Speaker, has the luxury of marveling at the leaps and bounds of these Asian tigers, because food on their plates and money on their pockets is still something that is an impossible struggle, even until today. We can't all be presidents, Speaker, or visionaries, and this elitist tone that was taken, I fear, will lead to further dislike and disengagement from the general public, especially those in rural areas, if it continues. And Mr. Speaker, remember, ordinary Kenyans, their votes are not just ordinary. Basic thoughts and ideas, their votes are not just basic. They also count. But before I continue there, let me at least highlight some of the things that have at least shone a good light on Kenya. The inflation part, Kenyan's inflation, absolutely, which has reduced, and that is commendable, and we acknowledge that. We also, on foreign reserves, I also note that this was also a good part of the speech for me, listening to that, promising as well. On agriculture, Speaker, the President overstated first lighter distribution, claiming 21 million bags when only about 3 million were distributed in 2022, according to data. He also misrepresented the maize flour prices, citing KS about 120 shillings instead of the typical 180 to 200 shillings per packet. Mr. Speaker, on health, as stated in this address, about 10,000 facilities are enrolled in SHA, he said. But feedback from workers and patients across the country suggests uneven service quality and access. While 8.9 million households are claimed to be visited by community health promoters in this speech, there's limited evidence of any actual health care delivered or follow-up care delivered. Claims of 9.9 million diabetes screenings and 6.5 million hypertension screenings across the countries, those exist in his speech, but it's unclear what treatment or management solutions were being provided to those who have been screened, if any, which is the most important part of healthcare. Let's not just identify, but let's demonstrate what has been done to manage or improve the health status of all of these patients. because data confirms that diabetes mortality rates remains high and conditions exacerbated by hypertension still persists in this country despite all these screenings. Also, the equipment that he spoke of, though county level experience is varied and unclear where these services are consistently free or subject to fees with these equipments. Overall, Speaker, while reporting shows large-scale initiatives being rolled out across the country, gaps in implementation, quality of care, and follow-up reduce their effectiveness and leave questions about the real impact on our public health. And that was clear in this speech. Mr. Speaker, we can boast about how beautiful, shiny, and luxurious this 5 trillion shilling Rolls-Royce is going to be one day. But if we don't look at under the hood of this machine, the oil levels, the water levels, the fuel levels, this machine will never move at all. Education and employment, Speaker. The Teacher Service Commission has been hiring teachers, he said, yes, with plans of recruiting 24,000 more by January. And a total of 60,000 to 76,000 hires over several years. That's plausible with a plan. Mr. Speaker, 1,600 labs and several classrooms were also documented in the speech. However, youth unemployment remains high at over 30%, and about 70% of graduates struggle to find formal employment. That's data, that's facts. And even though all this progress and interventions are being spoken about, again, what's really happening on the ground? Because behind the mics that we're speaking on, the people on the ground will tell us the truth. The backbone of our economy, Speaker, SME economy. He spoke of this. Despite numerous interventions in this sector, the absence of a legal framework leaves young entrepreneurs and innovators vulnerable. With no law to govern this sector, Speaker, my startup bill was supposed to address this gap. But several significant and institutional barriers continue to block its passage in this parliament, undermining the protection and growth of Kenya's startup ecosystem. It offers many solutions, the startup bill of mine, for innovators and entrepreneurs in Kenya. My startup bill remains proverbially stuck in the mud, and I don't understand why. And I would like to urge and employ senators and also members of Parliament and National Assembly to support its passage. A few red flags that I also want to highlight as the reasons causing for the Senate and National Assembly to be at odds with agreeing on several sections of my bill are as follows. 1, startups are being misclassified as MSMEs, ignoring their unique needs and challenges, because as you know, Speaker, these are two different things. Mismatched regulation and support then will follow if we don't agree on these clauses. Oversight has been shifted as well to a multi-agency startup committee in the ministry responsible for MSMEs, creating inefficiencies and misalignment with global best practices, Speaker, something that we also need to agree on. The involvement of multiple institutions leading...
Crystal, just take note of the remainder of your time. You've got under 4 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Speaker.
To conclude. Thank you.
Multiple institutions will lead to fragmentation as well, Speaker, overlaps as well, and accountability gaps if we don't address these in our mediation process of the startup bill. The mandate of county governments has also been deliberately excluded through the National Assembly amendments, weakening local support and clawing back on devolution entirely. There's a proposal for a new startup fund as well, which risks duplicating the already existing financial mechanisms set aside for startups in this country. I don't know why we cannot agree on these amendments. Without the Senate and National Assembly coming together and agreeing on clear county roles, streamlined regulations, and also actionable guidelines for incentives and intellectual property rights, Mr. Speaker, this bill will not holistically support young entrepreneurs and innovators in this country, and they have rights. Though this address claims there are no leakages as well, or on platforms such as e-Citizen, Speaker, you'll remember the Auditor General flagging gross mismanagement and potential corruption amounting to 9.6 billion shillings, with reasons including overcharging and poor controls. I don't know about you, Speaker, but that certainly sounds like an uncontained leakage. Further still, Speaker, on the platform, it may have improved access to government services, but remains frustratingly inaccessible to persons with disabilities because of digital inaccessibility, with no tangible solutions in sight. For years, Speaker, the country has been led by politicians who excel at microphones, slogans, and international theatrics, especially when seeking approval from the Western gaze. This is what one man said. And I hope that this debate will not prove this to be true, Speaker. Let's tell Kenyans the real story. And this is the story that I have deduced from this year's State of a Nation address. A story whose facts, the President says, and I quote, are available for all to examine, except perhaps for the cynical who have no facts. I, for one, Mr. President, I'm not a cynic. I am just a Kenyan who bothered to test the veracity of this address, which I encourage us all to do, even the Kenyans listening to the sound of my voice, Mr. Speaker, because even if you have the best seeds, as the good book says, it doesn't matter if you have the best seeds. If it does not fall on fertile soil, then it will not grow. All these ideas and ambitions will not grow if it does not grow on fertile soil. And as another senator has said before, for me, the first thing that you would have to tackle for an upward trajectory to get to the Singapores and to the Asian tigers, as they have been called, is to eliminate corruption and have a zero tolerance policy on the same. Without that, we're just talking. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Crystal. I call upon Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this very important motion. Mr. Speaker, a great scholar once said, happy are those who make their dreams come true. I wish this dream of Kenyans could come true. Mr. Speaker, there are quite a number of indicators which takes a nation to the first world. Number one, there is a lot of sovereign wealth around. The people of Kenya themselves are sovereign wealth. The land of Kenya is sovereign wealth. Wealth creation through agriculture is sovereign wealth. Taxes are sovereign wealth. The central bank is full of sovereign wealth, and Treasury is processing it. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if we made the cost of living lower by lowering the cost of fuel and lowering the cost of electricity, many Kenyans will invest in agriculture, in animal farming, and in crop farming, and many Kenyans will also invest in industries, and investors will also come to the country, and we will be able to afford affordable housing. We'll be able to grow the economy. But all these, as have been observed by Senator Christabel, cannot happen when corruption is the main thing around. Mr. Speaker, Singapore and Malaysia first dealt with corruption. In China, where it's a first world, there is a death sentence for corrupt people. But what do we have in our country? First, EACC has a lot of cases being investigated for a long time. One of it was the construction of the headquarters of Tharaka Nithi County at Kasanwa. The construction stopped because EACC was investigating. Many years have now passed. No one has been charged, and Kathwana has told. Mr. Speaker, if EACC is not into its act and does not help curb corruption, and there's no goodwill from investigators to present credible cases to the DPP, then that is a sunken dream. Mr. Speaker, it must start with every single Kenyan. Corruption is everywhere in Kenya. It is in churches, it is in government, it is in parliament, it is in judiciary, it is with the executive. And therefore we must overhaul our whole system of dealing and everyone wanting to protect the sovereign wealth by not stealing and amassing for themselves. Almost every Kenyan looks forward into making quick wealth, and the best way you can find is like hard work. But I want to liken the President, William Ruto, to the person in the Bible who was planting, who sowed seeds. Some fell in fertile soil, some fell in thorns, some fell in stones, and they never grew into anything. I'm hoping a little bit out of the hard work of Kenyans and the good rains which we've been experiencing, now gone, Kenyans were able to work very hard and fed for themselves. And that was, seeds on good soil. But when it comes to management...
Senator Manzo, you will hold your contribution until when the House resumes. You have got a balance of 11 minutes to continue contribution to the motion when the House resumes. Now, Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m. Time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 26th of November, 2025 at 9:30 a.m.